Good morning, good morning. I hope everyone's doing well. I have coffee and it was a short night, y'all. I hope you're doing well. Good morning, Miss Kevin. Good morning, Miss Morales. Campfire for Life 22. Hey, hey, good morning. Well, we're waiting for court. As always, we're waiting for court. And as soon as court blesses us, we will be hopping in with court. I hope trust that everybody had a good night's sleep. I trust this fabulous Tuesday morning, which feels like a Monday to me, and I'm sure like a lot of y'all. I am got here early, got some homework going. I didn't get it done, but I got it going, and just trying to get myself ready for today. Y'all, it has been a morning. Good morning, Dawn. Mm. Yes, Miss Kevin, how are you doing? How's grandma? How is the babies and the kiddos? We miss you. I miss seeing you, but fully understand, and we're here for you, whatever you need. So, oh my gosh, y'all. I went home last night and passed out. And then my dog, about an hour and a half after I pass out, so that'd make it about 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. maybe. She decides that she's going to have the zoomies. For those of you who don't know what the zoomies are when you are just around the bedroom and on the bed and onto the floor and just running in circles. Oh, this is going to be very interesting. You're right. This is going to be a very interesting morning. So anyway, woke my buns up. Took me a while to get back to sleep. Wasn't too happy about that. But hey, what can I say? She's a good girl. Then this morning, she refuses to come to work. So what happens? She stays in bed with her brother. So I am just texting over or commenting on Trial TV Live. For those of you who don't know, hi. Good morning from Utah. Good morning. Um, I need to go ahead and do this. Oh, there it is. We, what was I going to say? Oh, if you haven't already, go like and subscribe to the YouTube channel Trial TV Live. We are partnered with them, or I think we're partnered with them. If not, they'll let me know. Um, and they provide a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous live streaming without commentations or any interruptions, if that is your cup of tea. Good morning, Jedi Jess. I just saw the documents. Good morning. Hello, everybody. And so, if y'all are interested and love the live streaming that you are receiving through me, go like, comment, and subscribe over there too. Okay, I heard a crash. It was a big one, probably the cat. I'm gonna put music on. I will be right back, that little sneaky, sneaky thing, and see what she's doing, okay? I apologize, but it was a big enough bang, I need to investigate. All right, we're okay. This cat is cray cray, y'all. It's like she likes to climb. She will jump up and grab the door frame and just down. I was like, what? Hello, out and about with Diane. Hello, ADHD Jelly Bean. You've got your little wrench. Everybody, I'd like you to welcome our newest mod, ADHD Jelly Bean. Yay! Miss Jelly Bean in Discord, I need you to send me a photo of yourself that you love and approve of. And they're setting up and getting ready for the case. Good morning, Trial TV Live. Good morning, good morning. Why am I in such a good mood? God only knows. But I is. Okay, we're going to get this all set up. Awesome. Now let's get it going. Get the volume all the way up. Get my volume up. Happy to have you on the team. Yay. We are excited to have her as a mod. Okay, I guess they're just having some chitty chat chat. As this as this channel grows, we are adding mods. I don't know, Campfire for Life 22. It is a motion hearing, so hopefully it won't be an all dayer. So we'll wait and see what they give us. I don't know. Anything's possible with Sarah Boon Baggin.
Oh.
Or as I
Sir, hang on
lovingly
1 second.
say,
I'm waiting for the state. Thank you for your patience.
He's waiting for the state. Patience, please. As I used to tell my beloved children, patient, please. And they used to come down. And it was funny because I was like, hurry up, we got to go. Come on, get your shoes on. And my daughter looked up and she went, patience, please. I laughed so hard. Yes, it was funny. She still will do it. Patience, please. Oh, this is going to be really good, or it's just going to be yeah. But yeah, I love how he puts waiting on the state, please. Oh, I felt like I was dreaming those documents last night. I read 60 pages to y'all last night. There's the new lawyer. Dude, did you hear the siren? And you decided that you were going to respond? Miss Boone. Miss Boone. Oh, yes, it's always good with Miss Boone. Everybody, thank you for joining me. If you're joining me for the first time, I'm Ada K. I am, I got to call the interpreter and remind her. Let's see if she's going to hop on. Oh. Okay. For those of you who don't know, I grew up hearing. I am now deaf as an adult, hence why I speak so well. But we do have an interpreter that I try to bring on when possible for court. And you sent me a link on Facebook. Let me find it. I wasn't on Facebook yet this morning. Where did you send it? Instant Messenger? How did you send me a link in Facebook, and what Facebook page? My dear, I've got a lot. I got a lot of. Uh-oh, they turned the camera off. Suitcase murder trial. Oh, wow. Um, I have a Jamie and a Coral. Okay, that's definitely not it because that was a old one. I don't see it, babe. Which Facebook page did you send it to, love? Yes. Okay. Don't freak out. Poll can just went out. What? Do me a favor, Miss Out and About with Diane. Sometimes Facebook can be a little finicky. Are you a part of our Discord? If you are, please leave it in the Discord link. I will see it far better. I get so much stuff on the Facebook account. It's not even funny, and it's hard for me to find. Pool camera just went out. Yeah. It's back. I apologize for that, Out and About with Diane. I looked in my instant messaging and didn't see anything that I did. I'll pull it up one more time and see if it pops in. I don't know when you sent it. Okay, let me look. No, that's not you. Discord will not let my account be valid. I know, I was too. I really wanted her to represent herself. All right, I'll tell you what, Out and About Miss Diane, we will post my work email and you can send it to that. How about that? We can do that. I just got to pull it up. Mm-hmm. Oh, that is that one. Y'all, I'm not awake enough for this. Dun, 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 dun. I'm really not. I'm really not awake. Okay. It is There you go. There's my work. That is, we got that done. Good morning, Miss Diane.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh my goodness. I did do my hair.
Okay, I'm gonna let you do your hair. Okay, guys. So akbgeorge at gmail is my contact, and y'all can definitely contact me there. If you can't get me through any other means, a lot of us were looking forward to seeing her represent herself. Um, I'm sure Sarah is having a temper tantrum in holding.
I don't want to go to court. I want to stay in my bunk and suck my thumb.
Have y'all seen that little thing? I don't want to go to work today. Oh my God. That is a funny song. Miss
Somebody's telling
Diane,
me,
are you
oh,
ready?
yes, I'm as ready as I'm going to be. My light seems really bright. Is it?
You look good.
Okay, well, I'm beautiful.
Do I look too beige?
No, no.
Do I look too beige? Is my coloring decent? Sometimes it gets a little, depending on the day. Depending on the day. Oh, coffee and snuggles. Miss Kevin, we miss seeing you, but we're so glad you're getting those coffee and snuggles, because coffee and snuggles before first day of school is awesome.
Yeah, let me get my sweater. My office is a little cold. I'll be right back.
Okay. I got my coffee. I love coffee. I love tea. I love the job and it loves me. Coffee and tea and the jobbing and me. Cuppa, 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 cuppa. Oh. Um, the interesting thing is for Miss Sarah Boone is she can no longer ask questions. Yes, I understand, but I would like some clarification. Oh, I know. You and everybody else would not miss this new intern lawyer for nothing. I want to see how frazzled he is when they walk in the room. Okay, everybody's got their cup of cuppas.
Uh-huh.
So the thing is that we're waiting on the state. We're not waiting on the defendant, as far as I understand. I thought they just said they're waiting on the state. So something's happening. I don't know what.
What
Um,
are we doing? Who are
huh?
we doing? Who are we
Miss
doing?
Sarah Boone.
Well, you know I can only be here just a little bit before 10. I have
I
an
saw.
appointment.
I saw.
Yes, and then I'll be back.
If we're still on, God knows this may be short or it may not be. We don't know.
It's like a short order to cook. You never know what you're going to get.
Yep.
I had a
And I
very
love
good
it. Sarah
friend.
Boone's going to have to sit there and not say a word, which is going to be so hard for her to do.
So
I
good
think
thing
he
she's
does.
not deaf. Her hands would be flying and the interpreter would be.
Yepers, morning sick, but I'm here. I'm sorry, Hazelnut Pretzel. I hope you feel better soon. Oh, I doubt they're going to be discussing his payment method. Speaking of payment methods, I got some information.
You know why I
In
haven't
the wee small hours of the morning,
What'd you get?
in the wee small hours of the morning, I came across a little YouTube video, and it was running when I was asleep. And when I woke up, I saw it, and it was of our wonderful Wade Wilson. And it was one of the phone calls, and he was kind of talking about how he needed money on his books. Well, he has a GoFundMe, which legally he can't do for what he wants to do, but
He does qualify
in
for
his
representation
GoFundMe,
by the Public Defender's Office in this matter. Can I get appearances, please?
Yes, Judge. Samantha Smith, and at this time, will enter pleading not guilty, waive reading of the charges.
We're live.
Okay. All right, sir, I'm going to give you 2 dates. You don't need to memorize these. You'll be given paperwork momentarily. The first date is the date of your pretrial conference. That's where we're going to discuss whether or not your case is ready to proceed to trial. That will take place on November 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. And if your case is ready to proceed to trial, it may be tried during the 2-week trial period beginning December 9th at 9 a.m. Before you leave here today, make sure you give all your contact, communication
that's another
information to your
case.
attorney to your
Hearing
right.
another
And I wish you
case.
the best of luck, sir.
okay, he was hearing another case. It's not Boone. So Wade Wilson has one fund account with $1,699,
Okay.
and he is trying to raise 100,000. He's got 83 donors for $1,699. But then he has a different fundraising account with different people, a different company, and he has $100,000 goal, and he's raised $78,224.
Wow. 78,000.
Supposedly for attorney's fees. He's got 24 days left on that one. I screenshotted it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And Miss Kevin, I do need to have a 10-minute with you if possible today. But after the live, if you're available. But yeah, I could not believe it. This guy has got $80,000 in fundraising, and every freaking phone, well, he doesn't have it in his pocket yet, but every phone call he makes, man, can you send me money on my commissary? He's sending so much time on the pay phones, trying
Nobody
to
else
strum up people to pay him for interviews and BSing with his girlfriend that is another piece of work just like him. 2 peas in a pod, I'm sure, that
I wonder if they're green.
he needs money. And every phone call, can you put money on my books? Can you put money on my books? So it's been interesting. I know appeals can be interesting, Jedi, but he declared himself a pauper. How in the heck is that? You're not a
People in,
pauper if you've got that kind of money.
people in jail have more money than we do. That's sad.
Some people do. Yeah, it's just depending on what time it is, I should be able to. Okay. I know it's all contingent, which is just fine, love. Just fine. It can be contingent. I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
and these and I looked at who was donating the money. Guess what the percentage was, male to female?
Oh, higher female.
By far.
Oh,
Like
course.
98% female. Somebody sent him like 5,000.
How can somebody? How dumb do you have to be and still breathe? You know, I just don't get it. They're in jail for a reason.
Well, some women like bad guys. The 80K is probably a scam no, I looked at it. It's chipped away. There's one big one, but there's a lot of 150s there.
A lot of people.
You can still raise money for your defense costs. It depends on the rules. But if you look at the streamers have been pushing to raise money for his appeal. Yeah, I get it. But what frustrates me is that, oh, it's Miss Kathy. Okay. Someone was coming in and we're not even open yet. It's like not 9 o'clock. I'm like, who's here? It's my friend
It's
Kathy.
9:17 here.
Come on back, Miss Kathy.
Come back. We miss you, and you and your little dog too.
Girl, you acting like a 2-year-old.
We'll
I'm here. Come on in. We've got the Sarah Boon motion coming in. I can't see you, love. You're not going to get on camera. Don't worry. What's it? Let me mute y'all for just.
She just muted us. Do you realize that? That's all right. I'm sitting here filing my nubes. You know, everybody's got nubes if they don't have nails. Thank God.
Sarah Boone is going live. Here she is. She hired an attorney because she figured out she can't represent herself because she's a dumbass. And look at her smiling and giddy.
She's so happy.
She's the one who put the boyfriend in the suitcase and left him to die. And he's begging for his life. And she goes, shh.
Where's my girl?
Is she,
In bed with Matthew.
is she the one that said she went upstairs and forgot about him?
Yeah. She
Oh.
claims she forgot.
Okay.
She's sitting here laughing. She's giddy.
Well, she's happy.
I
She's
don't-
ignored.
Get out, kitty. Okay, thank you.
How is your kitty?
Wait a minute. Heard she's not even actually pregnant. Wait, what?
Judge, I'm James Owens, and I'm representing Sarah Boone.
Sir, good morning.
What?
Ms.
What are you
Boone,
talking
morning.
about
Can you
pregnant?
Please state your,
Who's pregnant?
raise your right hand now. First, go ahead and swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Ma'am, good morning. Could you state your full name and date of birth for the record for me?
Sarah Boone, 10-10-7-7.
She
Good
looks
morning, everyone.
so happy with
We
herself.
are here on several different items. The first is the court's notice of hearing that was sent out last week. The first
Oh, Gypsy
issue on
Rose.
that was
Okay.
addressing the viewing of the physical evidence here in open court. On August 5, the court entered an order setting forth certain deadlines and scheduling, including the viewing of the digital evidence no later than
Whoa, y'all. Whoa. I have to stop. You have to see what just happened. Ooh, somebody got disciplined. Something happened here. Something just happened. Oh, she's asking for a pen.
certain deadlines and
Okay,
scheduling,
I thought you
including
got in
the
trouble.
viewing of the digital evidence no later than September 3, and the physical evidence viewing to
Dang,
take
she
here,
just asked for a
placed
pen.
here in open court on September the 3rd, and scheduled for objections thereafter. The digital evidence review took place on August 9th, and the August 23rd deadline for objections has since passed. On August 14th, the court was advised of an alternative arrangement and advised the state to file a notice reflecting when and where and how that review would have taken place. I did not receive or see such a notice in the court file. Mr. Cashore?
Yes, Your Honor. We were not able to file the notice prior to today. However, on Friday, August the 30th, we were able to have that evidence review of the physical items with Ms. Boone at the Orange County Jail.
Okay, all right. Ms. Boone, can you confirm if in fact that viewing took place?
It took place.
Okay, all right, very good. And who did it take place between the state, yourself, and was Mr. Lane with Prison Break Investigations a part of that viewing?
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Also set for hearing this morning was defendant's motion for payment of costs and appointing neuropsychologists to assist the defendant in preparation of the defense that was filed on the 14th. The next day, August 15th, JSCS filed a response to the motions for payment of costs and appointment of a neuropsychiatrist. Paragraph 10 of the JSC's response reflects that the JSC will not be participating in this hearing. Mr. Owens, good morning. What is your position, sir, with regard to Ms. Boone's pro se motion for costs? Are you adopting that motion?
I'd like to abandon that one, but substitute it in for two other motions for the appointment of a forensic psychologist Dr. Julie Harper, who was on this case previously. I believe she saw Sarah Boone about 6 times at the Orange County Jail. She was working under the direction of the original counsel, Mr. Padilla, who I believe had the case for about 2.5 years. And I think it was set for trial, ready to go, and then at the last minute he withdrew. I tried to call him a couple of times, haven't been able to find out what went on. I have talked to Ms. Cashman, the last lawyer, but we don't need this neuropsychologist that Ms. Boone had requested, but we do need a reappointment of the forensic psychologist, Dr. Julie Harper. I've spoken with her a couple of times last week. I text messaged her 4 or 5 times this weekend. She is in agreement to handle the case, to reopen her file. She has sent me her records. I have reviewed them. I've met with my client. I think my client meets the criteria for that spouse. I believe Dr. Harper, after she gets a chance to re-engage with my client, spend some time with my client, and hopes that she's going to be of that opinion. In addition, I believe it's necessary for the appointment of a crime scene reconstructionist and death investigator, Dr. Michael Berkland, who is from my area, Pensacola, is who I am recommending to be appointed.
What was his name again, sir? I'm sorry.
Michael Berkland. I filed these judges yesterday or last night. I don't know if they're in the court file yet.
I did not see them this morning. I did see the motion to dismiss.
Can I post them in?
Yes. State, have you seen them?
I just saw them briefly this morning prior to the hearing.
Thank you. The only thing I saw in the court file, counsel, when I was prepping last night was the motion for statement of particulars, the columns count 2. I have not yet seen these motions.
Judge, I also filed a motion for additional discovery. I don't know if that made it through as well.
Was that also filed yesterday, sir, sometime in the evening?
It was filed at 8:30 yesterday morning.
So I have a motion for statement of particulars filed 8:10 yesterday, but I do not have the motion for additional discovery filed 8:34.
I don't know why the court was not able to post that, because they were filed one right after the other.
One's in the court file, the other's three aren't.
Okay.
They were all filed yesterday, 19.
No, certain things auto-populate and certain things have to be accepted.
Okay.
The statement of particulars and the additional discovery were filed yesterday morning. The motion to appoint the crime scene reconstructionist and death investigator, and the motion to appoint the forensic psychologist was filed at 6:10 p.m.
I do see that. As the court previously identified, JCS chose not to participate in this morning's hearing by virtue of their response filed on August 15th. They're not here. Your motions for these various experts report that they were sent to all persons on service list through the e-portal. But I don't know how I can address these this morning without having JCS here. So I will endeavor to coordinate a hearing for these as soon as practical. I understand these need to be addressed. Be advised, this is a trial week for the court, as is next week, but I will do my best to endeavor to try to get these heard as soon as possible.
Judge, and I filed my notice of appearance on Friday,
Yes,
and I've spoken with Dr. Berkland 2 or 3 times this weekend. The state was able to provide me with some discovery. I think once I filed my notice early Friday morning, I think the state provided a lot of discovery to me. I provided that to Dr. Berkland. I believe he has the autopsy. We cannot find the autopsy photographs, which he says are critical. We cannot find the crime scene photographs, which he says are critical to his evaluation. So I know time is of the essence. We've got people working on it, but there is some additional evidence that we need.
State, what's the status of the provision of the autopsy photographs and the crime scene photographs and provided to the council?
We provided all of those things previously, obviously, to the defendant, which has been greatly discussed already. When Mr. Owens' notice of appearance came on the case, I instructed my
Oh, they had them. Ah, one of the number one things that inmates like to steal are photos of any kind, including crime scenes. So, I would be asking Miss Boone right about now. Oh, honey, darling, did you lose something? Somebody asked about why she is sitting in the jury box and not with the attorney. This is not court, and the jurors are not there, so she must remain over there. That is their policy. Okay, let's keep going. We'll talk more about all this at the end.
assistant to go ahead and send copies of the document discovery, which is easily available to him.
Because my client lost
So
them.
that he could quickly have that and not have to worry about getting that from his client or whatever. I believe we also sent notice to as well that if he wants additional copies of the autopsy and crime scene photos or any other pieces of digital evidence in the case, that he just needs to provide USB and he can go ahead and burn that for him. Again, this is in addition to what's already been provided to the defendant in this case.
Okay, do we have a time frame where we might be able to get that information to him?
If he wants to come back to my office, we can do it this morning / this afternoon.
Is your office
in the building?
Yes, it's in the courthouse.
right there? Come out the front door, make a left.
Okay. I don't have a USB with me, but I'll find one. This morning, we'll get that done.
Okay, I appreciate you both. With regard to the motion for additional discovery filed yesterday, September 2, 8:34 a.m., state give you the opportunity to review this.
I just reviewed it just now here in court this morning. The state was going to request an
Look at that
opportunity
smirk.
to respond to both this motion and also the motion to the statement of particulars formally and in writing, given the lack of time we've had to prepare or to make a quick formal response.
Sure. And how much time, Counselor, would you like in order to file a response to the motion for statement of particulars and the motion for additional discovery?
I would ask for at least a week.
Any objection?
No objection.
Okay, all right. The state shall file a response to both the motion for statement of particulars and the motion for additional discovery no later than the close of business 5 p.m. on Tuesday, September the 10th. And if hearings are necessary, we'll coordinate those. With regard to the defendant's pro se motion for payment of costs and appointing neuropsychologist to assist the defendant in preparation of the defense, the court's going to deny that as moot based on Mr. Owens' representation. With regard to the motion to appoint crime scene reconstructionist and death investigator and motion to appoint forensic psychologist, state, are you intending on filing a response to these?
No, we're going to take no position on those points.
Okay, all right. I will have Ms. Barrios, I'll ask the clerk to see if we can push these through the portal today so that Ms. Barrios can reach out to JICS and see if we can get a time frame on when they may be able to provide a position statement or a response to those motions, and then we'll coordinate a hearing respectfully.
Judge, I'm going to want to add one other forensic psychologist, make a request. I want to make sure that there's not an issue about my client Sarah Boon and I manufacturing defense. And there's a second doctor, Dr. Michael Brandon. I don't spell that right, sir. Dr. Michael Brandon.
B-R-A-N-N-E-N?
He spells it B-R-A-N-N-O-N. He was the forensic psychologist in the Marsha Thompson case. That was the Palm Beach County first-degree murder where she shot and killed her husband, shot him 9 times. He was laying on the couch. And was acquitted of first-degree murder back in July of this year. That was a 2019 case, so that took a while to get to trial. But Dr. Brandon testified that a battered woman's experiences affect her perception of imminent danger. And that's
So
gonna
does
be
a lot of
question in this
alcohol.
case, whether or not Sarah Boone, at the time of her actions, was facing imminent danger. In addition, Dr. Brand said victims of repeat violence may fear death in situations others would not.
And
I've tried to reach out to Mr. Brand this weekend unsuccessfully. And my intent is to reach out to him. I'm hoping he's going to respond. He claims on his website that he responds within 48 hours. That's the only other witness I'm going to need an appointment for a forensic psychologist. So 2 forensic psychologists, Dr. Julie Harper, Dr. Michael Brandon, and then the crime scene reconstructionist, Dr. Michael Burke. And then in addition, I would like Billy Lane, who's seated in the audience. He is the investigator on the case. Because of the claims that we're making, that she's a battered woman, we need evidence to corroborate that. So there's a lot of history between her and Torres involving the
Look at the look
apartment
he's
complex,
giving her.
which is in Winter Park. That was 4 years ago. The ownership of that apartment complex has changed hands, so it's going to be somewhat problematic trying to get information about who all the tenants were that may have witnessed some of the violence involved in these two, as well as we're trying to get together the 911 calls that Sarah made and others made about the disturbances between that couple. So he's got a lot of work to do as it relates to running down witnesses. In addition, we're trying to get arrest reports that prior to domestic violence arrest of Mr. Torres, as well as the officers involved and their body cams to see if there's any evidence on the body cams that would show injuries to Ms. Boone. So we've got a lot of work to do, but I believe it's necessary for us to prove a viable defense of battered spouse syndrome. That we have cooperation. It's going to take a little bit, but I do need the appointment of that expert. He tells me he's already on. I'm going to have to file something else because it was under Sarah Boone. Now, as the attorney of record, I'm going to have to file something. He says he's still got plenty of hours to work under that original cap. So I'll be filing something today or tomorrow as it relates to that. But that's the only other. Of course, I've been retained, so I'm not going to make any claims for attorney's fees. I'm not making any claims for travel costs, just for these witnesses.
the JCS has already approved, I believe, $10,000 in investigation fees and $1,000 for other costs associated with Mr. Lane. That was at one of our previous hearings. Now, that was when Ms. Boone was representing herself pro se. I can't imagine JCS may change their position with regard to those costs. They've already said yes, but file it and we'll try to tee it up for hearing as well to see if they have any position, or it can just be, the order can be modified to extend to you as counsel for Ms. Boone.
Thank you.
All right. That takes us now then to your motion for continuance file that was filed on August 30th. Court's had the opportunity to review that motion. Any other arguments or statements with regard to that motion? Mr. Owens.
Judge, I reviewed the state case law relating to continuances and the abuse, palpable abuse of discretion when the court does not grant it. But it is critical to my theory, our theory of defense, battered spouse syndrome. As you know, that takes time to develop, especially when the motion basically speaks for itself, but we're in a time crunch. Essentially, the trial is set for October the 7th. I have to provide a notice of intent to rely on battered spouse syndrome 30 days prior, which is September 7th, which falls on a Saturday, so I believe that gives me till the next business day, Monday, September 9th. But still, 6 days for Dr. Julie Harper to come back out and visit with Ms. Boone, coupled with this other potential forensic psychologist, Dr. Michael Brandon. He's not going to have time to do that. They've got to establish a rapport with her before they can run the testing, spend the time with her. And it involves some extensive history. Obviously, that couple was together for 3 or 4 years. I still haven't peeled back all the layers. I've tried to go through it, but as you know, something like that is going to involve several instances of domestic violence that did not involve law enforcement, that was just between the two. So we've been going through that. We're trying to get some medical records where she was stabbed by Mr. Torres in the leg, and some other evidence. It's just going to take some time, coupled with the fact that I've got to get Mr. Lane to get all this other objective
Yes, Ms.
evidence,
Kevin.
witnesses, and 911 calls and arrest reports, and provide that to the two forensic psychologists for them to help formulate their opinion as to whether she is, in fact, a better spouse. In good faith, I believe she qualifies based on my spending 3.5 hours with her Labor Day yesterday, as well as the other 4 times that I've met with her. I have not spoken to Mr. Cordelia, but I believe that was probably going to be where he was going to go. I was not, involved. I don't believe you were involved at that time. I may have been.
Not me.
Okay.
My predecessor was.
But I think it was always ready to go. And for whatever reason, he withdrew at the last moment. And then here we are. But I think it's prejudicial if we're not allowed to present the defense that we believe we have a viable claim, and I would respectfully ask. I'm not asking for, I think most times you come on a homicide case, you would need at least 6 months. I'm asking for 1 trial cycle, 2 trial cycles, sometime at the end of the year or first of next year. I can be ready. I think that will give enough time for our experts to
Next
visit with this business
year?
and formulate their opinions. I'm sure the state's going to want to take a deposition. I think they may have a right to hire their own forensic expert to go out and interview to see if they agree.
That is your problem.
But that's
You
just gonna
took the
take a little
case
bit of
at
time,
this
but
late
I'm
date.
getting to
Not
the
my
right
problem.
process, and we'll be ready to go. I'm not asking for a long.
This is my circus, my monkey.
The good thing
No.
about it is Mr. Cordelia has done a lot of the work. My understanding he's taken just about all the depositions. I believe they've been transcribed. I haven't gone through all the discovery. She's got the 2 banker's boxes. She has not gone through all the discovery. We tried, but we have not made it. My understanding is a lot of the 2-hour interrogation with the sheriff's department has been transcribed. I haven't reviewed that, but we do have a problem with that interrogation. Now, that's
Look
why
at the
we
judge's
requested
face.
our policy. Our policy in my county, Santa Rosa County, is a little bit different. Based on my discussions with her, we feel like I'm going to need to file some motions relating to that. So
You feel like?
because of that, but ultimately because, yes, could I be ready for trial on October 7th? I believe I could, but not without a better spouse defense, because I don't believe my experts would be ready. And so that's instrumental in our defense.
State, do you have any position?
Holy
guess the state
crap,
would just
no.
Respond to
He's gonna get
a
it.
few things. Part of this battered spouse defense has been previously investigated with several Ms. Boone's previous attorneys. And in fact, the state did retain an expert, Dr. Tanya Warner, who's on the state's witness list in this case in anticipation of a potential rebuttal of an attempted battered spouse defense. The state's position would be that we would oppose a continuance at this time. However, the state's not opposed to setting another status hearing sometime next week, possibly, where we could address this and to see if there has been any movement, anything that would either change the state's position or potentially the court's position as well.
I don't think the state's thinking it through, Judge, because if we wait a week, I've got to file a notice of intent to rely on the battered spouse on Monday. We can't wait a
Good
week.
morning,
The time's
Miss
expired.
Robin
The judge said
Noel
continue
from
today.
California.
He wants to have a conference next week, but it's too late for him.
What's your response to the rule requiring these battered spouse or battered wife syndrome defense 30 days prior to trial?
You're welcome.
You have to give it.
Right, but I mean, clearly when that rule was created, it contemplated that there would be sufficient time to prepare for that defense within 30 days of trial, which is why they gave 30 days, which is why the Florida Supreme Court said that 30 days, not 60, not 90, not 120.
But in good faith, you can't file a notice of intent to rely on the defense of battered spouse syndrome if you don't have a supporting psychiatrist, forensic psychiatrist that makes that claim. I just can't say, hey, we're going to rely on it. And I'm putting you on notice. I've got to have some kind of authority. I'm not an expert. I think she meets the criteria, but I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I can't make that opinion. I've got to have an opinion from an expert before I can follow that in good faith. I can't do it without Dr. Harper. She needs more time. Dr. Brand needs more time.
All right, thank you.
That's your
Say anything
problem.
else? No. All right, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Oates, it seems like you've already started to dive into the case and what the court file has reflected. So clearly you've reviewed what is in the court file and the history of this case.
Yes.
I'm sure you've read the court's June 28th order, which was extensive as to the history of this case, multiple lawyers that Ms. Boone has gone through, the reasons for the non-conflicted out lawyers' basis for withdrawal, and why the court ultimately made a decision that Ms. Boone had forfeited her right to court-appointed counsel by her actions, or alternatively waived her right to court-appointed counsel.
Ooh, is that smirk coming off your face yet?
This case has been pending for some time. You advised in your motion to continue that you've met with Ms. Boone on 4 different occasions, that you just met with her yesterday for 2.5 hours. You were aware of what the order identified, which was in paragraph 6 of the order in the judge portion, that trial specially set for October 7th, 2024, and that it would be not continued for any reason, absent extraordinarily good cause, and such extraordinarily good cause would not include the retention of counsel. You haven't been appointed in this case. When you undertook this assignment knowing that you were not being appointed, and that by your own representation, you're doing this free of charge on a pro bono basis and not seeking recompensation for any lodging or travel. You knew what the deadlines were for the court. With regard to any of the experts, there have been multiple prior experts in this case. You already identified Dr. Julie Harper, a forensic psychologist. You advised that she's met with the defendant on 6 different occasions. She was appointed back on August 3 of 2020. Under Mr. Padilla's representation of Ms. Boone, at no point in time did Mr. Padilla file a Category A witness list disclosing Ms. Dr. Harper as a testifying expert, and as you astutely pointed out, this matter was days, if not weeks, away from being tried when Mr. Padilla moved to withdraw based on the reasons outlined in the court's June 28th order. Thereafter, Dr. Charles Heller, another forensic psychologist, was appointed on February 3rd, 2022, and again on March 1, 2022. No Category A witness list was ever disclosed with regard to Mr. Heller. Then Winston Hobson had an undisclosed expert that had met with Ms. Boone, as addressed in open court on February 9, 2024. And as Mr. Hobson put it, that expert was not meeting with what Ms. Boone had desired or requested of that expert. There was another expert psychologist that was appointed by Patricia Cashman on February 28, 2024, who had expertise in battered spouse and or battered wife syndrome. There were also Dr. Linda Dore, 2 times sought to be appointed, once by Attorney Bankowitz. Dr. Dore specializes in battered wife or battered spouse syndrome. Once by Dr. Bankowitz Mr. Bankowitz, on July 17, 2023, again by Attorney Hobson on January 1, 2024. Based on the Florida Supreme Court decisions in Middleton versus State, 220 Southern 3rd 1152 and 1176, Barlow v. State 221 Southern 3rd 562 at 569, there's a 2-part test determining the need of experts. We're not going to be addressing that today, as you sought to file these other motions that I haven't had really the opportunity to address.
Let's
And
get ready to
JCS is not here to have the opportunity to review those. In Roberts versus State, 75 Southern 3rd, 1277, at pinpoint 1281, by the Florida 4th DCA in 2011, citing to Lawson v. State, 884 Southern 2nd, 540, also by the Florida 4th DCA in 2004. In that case, defendant Ramos changed his defense counsel at least 4 times while this case was pending, with the latest change of counsel occurring 2 to 3 months before the actual trial date. There's no record evidence showing that any of Ramos's previous attorneys had provided ineffective assistance, and the defense had already moved for 4 continuances to prepare for trial. Similar to the Ramos case, Ms. Boone has played a prominent role in shortening the preparation time for trial. The set forth in the court's June 28th order. This case has already been continued 16 times. As of the date of your filing of your notice of appearance on August 30th, this case has been pending for 4 years, 6 months, and 4 days. On June 7th, this case was specifically set for trial on October 7th, and the June 28th order by the court specifically speaks for itself and evidences how Ms. Boone played a prominent role in shortening the time for preparation for trial when her 8th attorney, Ms. Cashman, withdrew. Ms. Boone reached the point where her right to adequate time for preparation and trial was counterbalanced by the right to the effective administration of justice. As of August 30th, when the notice of appearance was filed, there were 37 days until trial commencing in this matter. Considering the prejudice of the denial, Ms. Boone has already availed herself to 4 different attorneys that were not conflicted out, Padilla, Banquets, Hobson, and Cashman, and only has herself to blame for the withdrawal of those 4 attorneys based on the representations in those motions and the findings in the court's June 28th order. Discovery has been reviewed with Ms. Boone by prior counsels, as established by counsel's representations in various hearings, and prior counsel's motions for attorney's fees, all of which were filed in the month of August of 2024. Ms. Boone has had discovery in her possession since August 5, 2024. The digital discovery that the state seeks to admit at trial was provided to Ms. Boone on August 9. Although you are not court appointed, sir, the court's done its own research with regard to your expertise. You've been barred since October 15, 1986, with a duly elected public defender of the First Judicial Circuit in the state of Florida. From 2009 to 2012, you've tried over 100 cases to verdict throughout your career. You've met with Ms. Boone on 4 occasions, as outlined in your motion, not including the meeting that you had with Ms. Boone yesterday. As to the battered spouse syndrome defense, you still have time to file the appropriate notice in accordance with the rule. And considering all the factors as set forth in terms of the state 311, 7, 3rd, 185, and 10.189, Florida 2nd DCA 2020, your motion for continuance is denied. Matter, this trial is still set for October 7th. We will have a pre-trial, the 6th to 27th. Pre-trial in this matter, the trial case management will still be set for September 26th at 9 a.m.
Judge, a couple of things. Number one, I have a full practice. I've got a docket day this afternoon in Santa Rosa County for Circuit Judge Scott Duncan. I've got 12 clients that are pending. I've got other people covering it, but I do have a full docket. If we set some of these hearings involving my motions, could I be allowed to hear by Zoom?
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
The only request that I would have, sir, is the rules of general practice require a notice regarding your appearance. If you could just file a motion and provide a form order, I'll sign it and you can appear virtually. There's no reason for you to drive all the way down from Santa Rosa County for all these hearings when we can appear virtually. JACS, I imagine, will be appearing virtually for some of these motions with regard to the experts. So as long as you file a notice in advance, sir, I've got no problems with that.
Judge, in that pre-trial order, it mentioned, I thought, that the state attorney was supposed to meet with the defendant and the defendant's investigator and review all the digital evidence from the order. That's the way I read it. They were supposed to sit there all together and watch every potential video exhibit the state was going to introduce at trial. That has not happened. I think today was the deadline for that. I don't mind extending that because I'm going to need to look at the evidence.
With regard to the digital, the deadline, you are correct, sir. The deadline was today, based on the August 5 order. If it did not happen before then, as I outlined at the beginning, there was a change to that process. A thumb drive was provided in open court to Mr. Lang on August 9. He then provided it to Ms. Boone, a thumb drive of the specific digital evidence that the state is seeking to admit at trial, based on the witness and exhibit list that was filed under seal on August 9. Ms. Boone had the opportunity to review that information at that time.
All right, I'm going to ask for more time for me to review the digital exhibits they intend to introduce. I don't know if they've been redacted. I don't know if they're originals, but I'm going to need to look at that. And I went to the jail yesterday. I had to let them know in advance that I was coming. I believe my secretary had emailed them and said I wanted to bring in my laptop and my phone. to view evidence and whatnot. I was not allowed to bring in my laptop and phone yesterday for 3.5 hours. So I didn't get done a lot of the things that I wanted to get done within that period of time. Probably would have stayed there a lot longer if I would have had that capability. So I would ask for some more time to be able to look, for me to look through the digital evidence as to what you're, I assume it's being redacted. I know some of the audio in terms of clients' comments the client made, comments the officers made, some of it is, in my opinion, improper to be presented before the jury. So I'd like some extra time to be able to do that.
State.
I'm not certain, is he asking for a continuous again? What is the extra time that he's seeking?
What is it you're asking for? Extra time to do what?
The way I understand the order, I'm looking at paragraph 4 of the scheduling order and notice of hearings that, Judge, you signed August the 5th. Paragraph 4, the state's digital evidence will be reviewed with the state's investigator, the defendant's investigator, no later than September 3rd, 2024. This evidence viewing can be done in advance of September 3rd deadline. The state shall provide the defendant USB drive with station. They never viewed it with my client in its entirety. As the order states, they were to do by today. So the state attorney has failed to comply with the court's order. I'm saying I haven't had a chance to view it either. Can we reset that deadline?
Dude, you took the case. You still have time to find it. Oh, look at that look now. Oh, no, she has the smirk still.
Mr. Owens, we had a different hearing. And at that hearing, we addressed the digital discovery review.
Sorry you weren't
Mr.
there.
Owens was here.
Your problem,
There was
not
a USB
mine.
provided in open court, and the August 9 order and notice of hearing identifies a change to that August 5 order. Specifically in paragraph 4, prison break investigations by and through investigator Billy Lane shall take possession and custody of the USB jump drive, which contains the state's digital evidence, tendered in open court on August 9, 2024, and shall provide same to Major Malik X. Muhammad at the Orange County Jail today, August 9. Paragraph 6, prison break investigation shall file with the court a notice reflecting that the discovery in the USB jump drive, which contains the state digital evidence, was provided to Major Malik X. Muhammad at the Orange County Jail according to the date and time of the transfer. Such a notice was provided
Karen, I'll
by
explain in
Mr.
a
Lane
minute.
and filed in the court file. It was discussed at that August 9 hearing as to the revising of the digital evidence schedule. Paragraph 8 states that on August 14th, 2024, 1:30 p.m., a hearing will be held, courtroom 12A, regarding defendant's review of the USB jump drive, which contains the state's digital evidence. The defendant's August 7th letter to the court, provided to the court on August 9, and the media's participation in the physical evidence viewing on September 3, 2024, the pertinent case law is attached. On August 14th, we had a hearing, we discussed that, and we identified that she had the deadline until August 23rd to make any objections. Now, under the original scheduling order, which said this matters, which on August 5, which set the schedule for when there would be deadlines for objections, those would be extended by good cause shown. Are you seeking at this point in time to extend the deadline for a period for objections which has since expired?
Yes.
Okay, state?
No.
Okay. How much time would you like, sir, in order to review the state's digital evidence that it seeks to admit into evidence and tender any objections?
I've got to go buy a jump drive. I've got to take it down to his office. He's going to give me that evidence. Obviously, I need to review it with my client. I've got a flight out of here around, I think, 4 o'clock. I don't know if I can get it done by then, but I don't see the necessity of an issue, maybe a week prior to trial, whatever that is, a week prior to that Monday, October the 7th, a week prior.
State?
I'm amenable to setting a status hearing that week.
Here's what we're going to do. We'll address any objections to any of the discovery when we have trial case management on the 26th.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Anything else, Attorney?
Give me 1 minute.
Sure.
That's
State anything else.
Not this time, Your Honor.
Madam Clerk, going to work dutifully to, it's already done? Excellent. I'll have Ms. Barrios, my judicial assistant, forward these to JCF and see if we can coordinate a hearing. State will have till close of business September 10th to file responses to motion for statement of particulars and motion for additional discovery. Parties having no other business before the court. Y'all can have a fabulous day.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, sir.
Can I have a word with Sarah?
Absolutely.
Oh, really? The fist bump. You wanted to have a word and you walk up and fist bump her? Are you kidding me? OMG. Huh? I still want to watch a little bit to see if there's any more video of him in the courtroom. What in the world do y'all think? OMG. That'd be all. All she wrote, folks. Okay. I need to try to close that, bring this back. All right, y'all. Wow. Okay, we got a recap here. I am laughing inside. I really am. That was wild. That was awesome. Sarah Boone, you just got your Athens handed to you on a platter. Okay, so August 30th, they meaning not the lawyer, viewed the evidence. The new attorney requested the need to reappoint Julie Harper for a neurological psychological examination. Crime scene reconstructionist Dr. Michael Barkley, and a death investigator was requested. KB, welcome, KB. There's a lot of new people. Welcome. I am one of any attorneys who were bothered by her not having an attorney. Pro se parties are nightmares to deal with. Yes, they are. I can see a group of attorneys getting someone to represent her just to prevent the train wreck. Good point. It is a very difficult position for everybody. So you're right. So the hearing, they need to have a hearing with JAC. He's asked for copies of the autopsy photos and from the medical examiner and also the crime scene. He says they do not have, but Miss Boone was given the photos. September 10th, the state has for the response an additional psych. Oh my gosh. Okay. I found it so interesting that the investigator, when she was sitting here giving that little smirk, he was sitting there going, yes, true. She should have lost for the court appointed. Continuance request denied. Trial will be October 7th. He is pro bono. We did get that, and they extended the deadline for the objection with the evidence. So interesting. Yeah, that's what everybody is saying. That is what everybody is saying. I don't think she'll fire him. I don't think she knows that if she fires him, she's gone. I think she also understands the difficulty of being a pro se now. I don't think she's going to do that. As a woman attorney, thank you so much for hopping on. I really appreciate you. You're welcome here anytime. I still pissed off at her complaints about the last female attorney not being nice to her. It's not my job to be nice. You're so right. Your job is to represent. Your job is to tell the truth. Your job is to keep her in line. Let me rephrase that. Not keep her in line per se, but to make sure that that well, just like with the Telus trial, to not perjure yourself or her and be involved in anything illegal. So your job is to do your job is to represent in court. It is not your job to hold her hand, huggy, kissy, and babysit. She is not that done. Okay, friends, I'm going to have to dash. I'll be lurking around this week, heading to Amish country later today, my brother's wedding. All right, Miss Kevin, just we'll be in contact. Love you, darling. Queen Olive, she's not going to get with it. Yep. Oh my gosh, yes. Miss KBF, thank you so much for hopping on, and I hope to see you soon. Always welcome your comments. Always will welcome your comments. One of the questions that I've been wondering is, and was it pro se? But people don't realize pro se doesn't. How is he going to be paying his staff as a pro se attorney? How is he going to be paying that staff? He's throwing money away at her. Why? After all the hell she's put all these other attorneys, why is he doing this? I don't understand. See, pro bono doesn't mean he just doesn't get paid. It also means that his staff and everything else, he eats their bill. They don't do it for free. His receptionist is going to get paid. His legal assistance is going to get paid. At Tracy, no, he was barred, meaning that when he joined the Florida bar. Oh, yeah. Barred meaning he got joined, not barred as in blocked. Exactly. Wow, y'all. Welcome, Tracy. Crystal, welcome. He had a full caseload. Dude. Why wasn't she sitting next to him? Correct me if I'm wrong, KBF. She will not be sitting next to him until she is in actual trial in and of itself. Otherwise, she sits where she was placed. And I love it. She's back in handcuffs. All of the privileges that she had as a pro se are gone. He's like 3 hours away. Yeah. He's not doing it for the money, ADH Jelly Bean. He's doing it pro bono. That's right. It's a hearing, not a trial. There's no jury. Exactly. When the jury is present, she will be sitting at a table in street clothes, looking like a normal one of us. Yeah, I don't know. I can't read his mind as to why he's doing it pro bono, other than he's glutton for punishment. Unless he believes that she's being unjustly tried for whatever reason. I think he gave a very good ditch effort, but I found it so funny that he asked to speak to his client. He walks over and fist bumps her in the end. I'm like, dude, this isn't a football game you just lost. I agree with you. That's why a group of attorneys are behind this. Probably. Or that is true too. See, a lot of people don't realize, and I'm glad you brought that up, KBF, is that sometimes a group of attorneys will go in and, I guess, financially support a pro bono, for the lack of better words on my behalf. But wow, it is going to be an interesting rodeo for sure. Well, at least he's in Florida. That is, he's in Florida. That is so true. And, I'd drive 3 hours one way to go do something and turn around and go home another 3 hours, but I'm in Texas, so everything is a distance for us. Oh, thank you, charmed girl. Thank you, thank you. Good morning, Miss Nikki Side. How are you this morning? It wasn't at 7 on my time, it was 8. I got here an hour and a half early. That's okay, I got some homework done. For those who don't know me, I'm Ada K. Brown. I am grew up hearing, but now a deaf person, and I am doing a lot of this to provide accessibility for those who saw. I had an interpreter. I also can interpret. And then I'm also a student right now for criminal justice, possibly going to go into law. I don't know at my age of 53, not sure if I can survive law school, but that is on the kind of on the target, but not sure if that's going to be where I'm going to go, or a PhD in law. For a while, I drove 45 minutes just to get to work. Yeah. So you can hop in anytime, Miss Nikki. You don't have to wait for me if you want. Yeah, 7 a.m. for you. Good morning. We have a lot of new people. Y'all, this is Miss Sneaky Side. I call her Miss Sneaky Pants. She is our mod boss assistant, and she fills in for the mod boss.
Yes, I hopped on here because I had woken up at about 5. I don't know, it was about 5:45, and I'm like, I'm gonna get about 10 minutes more sleep, and then I'm gonna get up. And then I woke up. Oh, it's about 6:45, something like that. I'm like, overslept.
That's okay.
And so now my hair's like a mess, and I'm like, nope, still want to be here. What's going on? So thanks for the update, because I got here just in time to figure out like if he was pro bono, what was happening. So now I can go back and rewatch everything. But I'm really thrilled to see so many new names. I'm just going to turn on my lights so people can kind of see my face, and they can see how messy my hair is, because it's actually truly
Your hair
spectacular.
isn't messy. It looks quite cute and actually looks good.
Oh,
KBF,
thank you.
first of all, I want to ask what state you're in, if you want to share. Second of all, I really would love to go to law school, but my thing is age. But
Right.
my
Law
thing is
school
that there's a lot of deaf
pricey.
people in the system and disabled people in the system that don't have representation. There's only one attorney in Texas that deals with deaf clients. In Texas, well, we need to get together. Don't give me the city if you don't wish, but I'm in Kerrville, just north of San Antonio, Texas. Love meetups, guys. I would love all of us Texas folks to just kind of have a meet and greet. Well, I thought I went late at 31. Oh, okay. Well, 53. That's 20 years on you, babe. 22 years on you. Oh, Laredo. Cool. I'm down in that area sometimes as a first responder. Could you do law? Jobs, no law school, but still law. Possibly.
It's really
Possibly.
neat to see how many Texas people are in here, because I know Texas is a very large state, but it's cool to see how many people pop in.
I
Um,
appreciate all y'all. All y'all
yes.
who understand what y'all means.
Um,
So,
guys, I want to have just try like something different. If you don't mind, I know that we're really active in the chat, but do you mind putting a comment down below in the permanent comments, something about what you felt about the stream? Because I think that helps bump it up for people who haven't seen content like ours. And I'm just wondering if that might send it out to more people, because I think the permanent comments down below might make a difference to that. So if you don't mind, just help.
thank you.
Oh, thanks, Diane. if you just don't mind helping us with like a little, sorry guys, for my dog.
Well, my problem is one of the things that I'm trying to do is once I get my bachelor's in criminal justice, I can then go and get certified for the national certification for interpreters. I don't want to do the state. I want to do the national. And then I can get certified for courts. You have to be a court certified interpreter to interpret in courts. And so hence why I want, yeah, but um we'll just see where the Lord leads me in all of that. Once again, thank you again, Out and About with Diane, for the gifted memberships. You were awesome. But okay, oh wow, who got them? Oh, KBF, well, congratulations. Olive Green, congratulations. Tracy, congratulations. Crystal, congratulations. And Karen, yay, y'all all got memberships. Okay, guys, we
That is
do have membership
awesome.
live, so you'll want to look for that at the end of next month, and the end of September before. Oh, my nose itchy. Sorry about that. Texas in the house. But thank you for that, Sneaky. Thanks for all those popped. Comment down below. What do you mean a permanent comment? I thought none of these are permanent. I noticed.
No, there's actually like permanent comments that are down below the video, and I think they help with the YouTube algorithm. And so I just want to try a little experiment for some of the people below, because I think it might just help people who have never seen our content. I think it might just help it bump up for to push it into people's like streams, like into their home pages and things like that. So if you guys just know what I mean by the comments below as opposed to the comments on the side, and just want to say anything about the stream, or sorry, like anything about what you thought about our stream today, we just really appreciate trying a little experiment, because I would love to know if that gets us more views eventually, because we have a lot of people on here today, a lot of new people on here. We'd love to see if we can get more new people seeing this video, because this is a great video.
I've been told by Pickle Nick you have to wait till live is over. Oh man. From Canada.
New Brunswick on the East Coast. Robin Noel, thank you for being here. I'm a West Coaster, but I am Canadian, so very, very glad to see that you're here.
I am very blessed to have all of y'all here, and it is simply amazing. And sometimes I lie in bed and I'm looking at the numbers and I'm just going, wow. I happened into this by accident. I was not planning to do this, but I'm happy to be doing this. Likes help, and sharing it definitely. Back
Absolutely.
in ages in law school, there's a variety of ages in my class. Almost half were returning students like myself. We did better than the younger students because we knew how to manage our time. Amen. Amen.
We have
Amen.
another.
Oh, look at Pickle Nicks. Amen, but not Norfolk County. Well,
ADHD Jellybean is our Canadian mod, our other one now, so that's great.
Yes, welcome aboard. So, KBF, if you would like to be our, what would I call it? Expert mod, meaning you don't have to be on here, you don't have to do anything, but I can reach out to you if you go to our can you throw up our Discord link? And I don't have anybody that I can quite give a question to real quick if I don't understand something. Won't harass you, won't bother you too much, but it would be nice to have an expert on the team if you were inclined to do so. It's just for when we have big trials and something happens and I'm not understanding something, that I can just send you a quick chat in Discord, and at your convenience, you can answer that. It's up to you, no pressure. I always like to have people that I can go to when I don't know what's going on. Um, I remember someone said, "You don't have to be the smartest one in the room. You just have to have smart advisors." Oh, well, family law is great too, but it's just, sometimes procedural things. But we also like to have people pop on, and we do panel nights or panel screens sometimes.
We have a lot of
Please
really
share it with your
interesting
niece. If your
friends.
niece wants to volunteer to interpret to give our interpreter Diane a rest, because Diane is doing it all by herself. I do send out love gifts. She can set up, buy me a cup of coffee, and we will stream that while she's interpreting, and people can buy her cups of coffee. Um, just a thought. I'm always looking for an additional interpreter or two. Big brain advisors. Yes, Hazelnut, I agreed. Bye, beloved. Have a great day. Thanks for coming.
I think with
Hey, can
law,
you do me a favor?
especially,
Can you turn on the
there
light in the front room? And do you know where the printer is? There's a strip cord. Can you turn that on? It turns on our open sign.
each
You're an
different
awesome.
discipline of law is, like a really different niche, and it takes a different type of person to be really gifted at it, because it involves your history, it involves street smarts, it involves a number of things, but depending on which area of law people choose, it really, you're doing people a huge service. And I know family law is incredibly challenging,
It is.
I've
Hey,
heard.
thank
So
you so much for being here. Thank you for checking out the Discord link. Can you pop it back up? We have another request for it. Miss Jules,
hi, Jules.
hello, hello. I've been seeing you on Instagram. You're looking good, girl. We like it. A lot of lawyers seem to have ADHD. Yes. Yep. So let's talk about what just happened here.
Yes, please.
We kind of got off on lawyer stuff, but it's nice to have a lawyer in the house. Family law is the worst. I'll let you handle those now. Family law is the worst. It is so disheartening. Pickle Knits, you could also be a part of the team. Yes, you could. You could. You
And
could.
wow, pickle knits, that is challenging. And just a special thank you to all the lawyers in family law, because those are really challenging days. Holy moly.
Yeah. That's tough. But let's recap what happened for those who was not with us or who came in late. As soon as this person that we just absolutely adore by the name of Sarah Boon, of course, beloved. Can I post it in the comments? I'm going to post it in the comments, and you can just click on it and hop in. And then when you are, I'll remove it. Okay, so let's do a recap of what just happened here. So, Miss Boone, well, there was a little delay on the state side. Miss Boone came in and was sitting there kind of like this, smuggy as freaking hell. Smuggy. And oh, she looked like she was so proud of herself. She was smiling, giving side smiles. She even winked. I was like, girl, really? I'm glad you're feeling better today, Miss Karen. So the attorney actually looked nervous to me, and if he wasn't, he should have been. So they talked about the August 30th viewing of evidence, and he was not a part of that. Uh-oh, someone disappeared. He was not a part of that. He requested, or no, he needed, he said, I need, there we go, to reappoint Julie Harper, the neuropsychologist. She was the very first one, and he wants her reappointed. He wanted the court to remove the request for the one that Boone just filed a motion for. He also requested crime scene reconstructionist Dr. Michael Berkeley and a death investigator. The judge says they need to set a hearing with JAC to discuss some of those matters. I'm trying to, I'll ignore the comments. That's my bad. The attorney was saying that he did not have, or they did not have the autopsy photos from the medical examiner, nor did they have the crime scene. The state stood up and said, we gave you everything. The judge did smack that smirk right off her face. So what happened was, I suspect they disappeared while they were in the custody. Oh, okay. If you can't, I'll text it to you. All that kind of stuff. The photos disappeared, apparently, because the state said they gave it to him. However, they're saying that they don't have them. So the judge ordered that if he gives a thumb drive to the state can download it for him. The September 10th, the state's response is due to, I guess, for the new motions. Yeah, exactly, ADHD. He also requested additional forensic psychiatrist Michael Brannon to come on board. So that's the third expert witness he's requested. Well, 2 new, 1 reinstated. Now the investigator, I didn't get the last name, but it was Bill R. something. Oh my gosh. Miss Boone was sitting there giving him the cheekiest smile, glaring over at the investigator. The camera caught the investigator sitting there like this. Funny as hell.
Jules, are you ready to go on
Miss
stage?
Jules? Hello. No sound. Oh, we'll wait. So, also, he talked about the apartment complex changing names. Hi, Walger. Thank you for joining. We've got a bunch of new people here. And so he was. Can you say something, Jules? So just talk when you can. I'll let you two, and I'll keep reading my notes. The apartment had changed names. And so he was saying, I think we have sound, Jules.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, but we have an echo. Oh no, we got it. I could hear myself and you at the same time. So
okay.
Anyway, so the apartment changed names, and he was saying it was having difficulties in getting some information. Miss Jules, give us your rundown, beloved. How are you feeling today?
Well, okay, no lectures, please. I'm on the couch, as you could see. I had my last chemo on Friday, and they gave me some written orders that I was supposed to I'm in my nightgown, excuse me, that I was supposed to follow. And I tried, but you guys know about the standout for Karen Reed that took place yesterday. All right. So I helped organize the Florida standout. Now, if you help organize it, how could
You have
you
to be
not
there.
go, right? So I went, and one of the things that, and Ada, because she's been through the same thing as me, knows that the one thing the oncologist said is stay out of the sun.
sun.
Okay, so where we were, it was really hard to do, but Frankie, stop. It was really hard to do, but several people knew my circumstances, so they brought umbrellas and a chair for me to sit on.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know who this is. I'm not answering it. What do you call it? So in any case, that didn't help. I mean, it's not that it didn't help. I was out on the sidewalk. I took a huge fall. I was like, boom, down, because I'm just tired and my strength isn't back up to normal yet. So I learned a valuable lesson to listen to your doctors, because I definitely overdid it yesterday. And when I got home, once the adrenaline wore off of the day, then the pain in my ankle and my knee and this part of my hand all started throbbing. And then it had to be from the sun. I developed welts, all like, yes.
yes, my
Yes.
dear.
So the only thing that I could think of doing was, I have Benadryl here in the house, but I also had prednisone that they give me when I have my scans because I'm allergic to iodine.
Yes, ma'am.
So I took Benadryl and prednisone last night. So thankfully, I was finally able to go to sleep. That my dog, he's such a pain in my butt. So when I fell asleep, and when I only woke up just a bit ago, made myself a cup of coffee and just relaxing. And please excuse how I look. I haven't showered or anything yet.
You
But
actually look quite good for someone in your position. I looked
You look
far
actually, your hair looks actually pretty seductive and stuff. So
She's
you
got-
look really
she's got-
good.
crazy.
She's got the
But
bed hair
but the
going,
welts,
y'all.
the welts are gone.
Nightgown and
I'm
some
feeling
bed hair.
good.
I
You're
feel
funny.
scandalous. Don't worry, I
Please.
haven't brushed my hair or anything yet this morning, but I think you always look wonderful, Jules. But thank you very much for updating us.
Yeah.
How is your balance?
Yeah.
Is your
So,
balance
so
also
Jules,
off with the-
Jules,
My balance is not all the time, but yeah, there are times. Like, what happened is, I went to go do a few interviews, and all of a sudden I got sick. And this guy, John, that was there, that was helping me organize this, I was like, John, I don't feel too good. And he goes, well, go back over there and sit. And I was like, no, I got to get this guy because he's retired law enforcement. And boom, I went, and that was live on my TikTok. I went down, my phone went flying, and John had to grab it and tell everybody, Jules had a little bit of a mishap here. She'll be back in a minute. Don't go anywhere. And, and I had to lay on the sidewalk for a few minutes. Then I had to sit on the sidewalk for a few minutes, and then they both got me up on my feet.
Do
And
you know why they did that, my dear? When someone goes down like that, passes out, or just collapses, you don't jerk them up, because if you jerk them up, you can cause a stroke. Your blood, yes. What happens is that the reason why you go down is that possibly due to the heat and the sun and the chemo, your blood pressure elevated enough to make you go down. So you lay down and let it settle for a little bit. Then they set you up and let it, settle for a minute. And then they get you up. You don't want to ever jump up when you go down like that. Ever. Ever.
well, this lady right here learned a valuable lesson. I ain't doing that shit no more. No, I'm done.
Well, the biggest thing is just make sure that sunblock would have, a lot of sunblock would have helped the skin. But right now, I would not get out in the sun for any extended period of time. Even though you're not in direct sun, you're still in the sun.
Yeah, I'm
Going
not.
in and out your car is fine, but do you know what? Knowing you're going to tell me it was worth it for the rally.
Yeah.
I knew it. I would, Jules. I'm not going to fuss at you. People would be fussing at me because I would have done the same thing. So, can you give us? Everybody's asking for an update on Karen Reed. They're like, update. So, can you
Well,
give us an update?
I can't, just so everybody knows, I can't see the chat. So, yeah, I can't see the chat. But so if you have
Everybody's
specific-
sending you love and blessings. You got a
Thank
lot of
you.
hearts, and a lot of people are just loving on you.
Thank
Do
you.
you see the one comment that we bring up at the bottom for
I
you?
can see those.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Just so that we know that.
And thank you for all the love and all the well wishes. I greatly appreciate it, more than you guys realize. But if there's something specific they want to know,
Hazelnut.
put it in the chat, and they'll or somebody will ask me. Time to wrap up in bubble wrap. Yeah, right. In any case, it was, we had, I think we had about 15 people that showed up. Now, this is the part that you guys are going to find super interesting. The majority of the Florida residents that came to the Southwest Florida rally, which was ours, well, standout. They really don't call it a rally. They were calling it a standout. Were former residents of Massachusetts that came down here to live, retire, et cetera, et cetera. Boy, did they have a lot to say. And one of them, well, more than one, lived in, one lived in Canton, one lived in Stoughton, and then the others, one was in Boston, and then the others were, like in the surrounding areas. But I lucked out because there was a retired law enforcement officer. So that was the one that I was going to when I took my fall, when I went down. He had a lot of interesting things to say. The clips that are out there on my TikTok and that I put on Twitter are condensed down because you're limited to a time thing. So I had to clip it, and the entire live. TikTok doesn't post the entire live, and this is where I need Braxton's help to learn how to properly edit and all of that. So my editing really sucked, but people got the general idea.
You can send it to me, love.
I can't. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to send the entire live. I don't know how to do it. I need somebody
Okay,
to
and
help.
TikTok, what is your handle? Because I'm trying to find you and I've got 100 jewels.
No, try notorious_Jules. Try that one. If
But I
not,
think it's JULZ, right?
JUL. It's just the way this one is. Notorious
Oh, okay.
Jules. JULES.
Got it.
Okay. So those are the short clips, and Ada, if you want, I mean, I don't know technology. You know, I'm not savvy like that, but you have permission to show anything that you find of interest on there, or it's up to you. You have my permission.
Okay.
I gave permission yesterday to people to if they wanted to live stream it on their YouTube channels while we were live streaming, but I don't know if anybody did or not, because that's another thing with TikTok. When you're live streaming on your phone, you can't use your phone to check messages or yeah. So in any case, but he had the retired law enforcement officer said he believed in her innocence. And I asked him, I said, what was your defining moment? And he goes, well, being a law enforcement officer, I know how investigations are done, and how we lost her.
Oh, she's here. She just, I think, took a phone call.
Okay. And how an investigation is done, how evidence is collected, and blah. And he said it was just the sloppiest thing he has ever seen. And I said to him, so what do you think, about Trooper Proctor, the lead investigator? And he was like, yeah, no, I can't remember it. You'd have to look at it, because I really don't remember what he
Well,
said.
I'm trying to find it. I have 15 hours ago with the video.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look at it later. We'll post it later. It's hard for me to do it all. Go ahead.
He said, what else did he say? He said, I asked him, because he has friends still up in Boston that are active police officers. And I said, without naming names, I said, what are they saying? And he said, well, they're not. They're not on social. They're not posting on social media. They're not speaking out publicly. He said, the only thing that they're saying is, leave us out of this. We don't want any part of this.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And he said, me, I'm retired. He goes, I don't care. I could say whatever I want. Nothing's going to happen to me. And so, yeah, it was good. I mean, it would have been nice if we would have had a whole lot more, but it was, John Obi-Wan, who's here in Florida, is the one that really did most of the work on putting it together, because he knew what my circumstances was. And it was pretty much last minute. So they might be doing another one. If they do another one, then I'll have a better, we'll get started early. Like, I contacted, stop it. JB Boone from WFLA News, but I didn't do it until Saturday night, and he was out of town, and he texted me back, and he's like, Jules, he's like, you're giving this to me last minute. I can't promise I could get a crew out there. He says, but I'm going to pass the information. Give me the location of where it's going to be. So I did, and no, they didn't come out. So I jumped on I don't even know whose live it was when I got home, but it was somebody from up in Boston. And he said, well, what was the biggest hurdle for Florida? And I said, not enough of notice. And he said, fair enough. And I said, so if I have enough of notice, then I can get in touch with people and other YouTubers that I know, I did send you an invite, Ada. Did you see on TikTok? But you were probably sleeping because it was 9:00 my time. So it would have been, what, 6 yours?
Yeah, but we also had I also had another live scheduled. But unfortunately I didn't see it in time. I'm not on TikTok very much. I'm trying to learn to be.
I
So
know,
for
but
me,
I figured you would know how to live stream it on your YouTube channel from mine, but I guess not. I don't know. We need Braxton. So that's what.
because I can do this.
Yeah, but those are already
former
flipped.
resident.
I can live stream anything as long as I have a video feed.
Now I live up in Claremont. Another former resident of Massachusetts.
Next time I'm not using that little box. It's too distracting.
You can move it.
It could be any one of us. It could be.
Put your finger and drag it.
You get tired of hearing, oh, it's just because she's pretty.
Is this where you fell?
Oh, I didn't clip that and put that on there. No.
Give the girl determining.
I'm just
moment
quickly
in this
just
case.
skimming through so people can get an idea.
All of the evidence
It's kind of hard to hear them, but that is you yesterday. Girl, I can look at your skin and know that you're getting too hot.
I am so glad to hear that. I cannot believe how many former residents of Massachusetts showed up in Florida as in support. I will get to you in a moment. Oh, if she holds her head up and she doesn't give the girl her freedom. Check this out. What's your name and where are you from?
It was right after I talked to them is when I did my deep dive. Boom. That guy right there. He's the retired law enforcement.
From Boston originally.
You're from Boston as well.
I'm a former law enforcement officer, 26 years.
Are you?
Here in this county, Sarasota.
Okay.
So I followed the case and I'm just here to support her.
And so let me ask you this. What was your defining moment believing as a police officer that Karen Reed is innocent?
Well, I've worked hundreds, maybe thousands of hours. I understand what she is. I understand
Sorry
how
about that.
evidence is collected. I understand how investigations are concluded, how you can conclude evidence, use evidence, try to convict somebody. The case would never have happened in Florida the way it went down. That house would have had a search warrant on it. The investigation would have went 100 different ways, and there would have been somebody held responsible other than Karen Reed. It's ridiculous.
So what do you think about how the lead detective, Trooper Proctor, did in this investigation?
I mean, it's a mockery and it's an embarrassment for law enforcement to see most of those law enforcement officers on the stand. Just absolutely disgusted. The way he went in his investigation, how jaded he was, how he basically came to a conclusion early on. You got to follow the evidence. And sometimes that evidence won't get you where you need to be for years.
Exactly.
But just to jump the gun and to frame Karen Reed.
Well, let me ask you this, without naming names, do you have any contact with any law enforcement back in the Boston area?
I don't, because I did my career here in Florida.
Okay.
I have some law enforcement officers that work in the area, but most of them are staying out of it for obvious reasons. They just don't want to be involved. I have some friends that are within the local area of that Canton and other townships, and they're not saying anything. They're not posting on social media. And I get that. I can do it. I'm retired.
Thank you.
Kind of like Sean in the Gulf. He's not currently working. He can go out there and do it. If I was
Yeah.
on the job, I wouldn't be as outspoken just because
It's a hot topic.
a hot topic and you just don't want to get
I know.
involved.
I come from a law enforcement family back in Jersey and New York, and my family members are appalled at
Right.
how this all happened.
Oh,
So,
thank you, Ronnie.
same here.
How evidence is collected. I understand how investigations are concluded, how you can conclude evidence, use evidence, try to convict somebody. The case would never have happened in Florida the way it went down. That house would have had a search warrant on it. The investigation would have went 100 different ways, and there would have been somebody held responsible other than Karen Reed. It's ridiculous.
So, what do you think about how the lead detective, Trooper Proctor, did in this investigation?
I mean, it's a mockery, and it's an embarrassment for law enforcement to see most of those law enforcement officers on the stand. Just absolutely disgusted. The way he went in his investigation, how jaded he was, how he basically came to a conclusion early on. You got to follow the evidence. And sometimes
Right.
that evidence won't get you where you need to be for years.
Exactly.
But just to jump the gun and to frame Karen Reed.
Well, let me ask you this without naming names. Do you have any contact with any law enforcement back in the Boston area?
I don't, because I did my career here in Florida.
Okay.
I have some law enforcement officers that work in the area, but most of them are staying out of it for obvious reasons. They just don't want to be involved. I have some friends that are within the local area of that Canton and other townships, and they're not saying anything. They're not posting on social media. And I get that. I can do it. I'm retired.
Thank you.
Kind of like Sean in the Gulf. He's not currently working. He can go out there and do it. If I
Yeah.
was on the job, I wouldn't be.
Is
as
this
outspoken
replaying again?
Yes.
It's a hot
Oh, I'm sorry.
topic.
I can't understand any of it. I have to listen later. I apologize. You should have said stop. Okay, interesting. Wow. We can if you're interested, we have it in Discord. If you would like, here's her notorious _ Jules. Oh my gosh, you got 4,410 followers. Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
I
Good.
hear about her
Wow.
TikTok a lot, actually. I've heard about your TikTok mentioned at least 10 times before this, Jules.
Really?
Bell
I'm
just went
not
off.
on
I'll let
TikTok.
you run. I'll be back.
Yes. So I don't know if you want to talk about this, but sorry. Well, let me get to it. Sorry. I had to find one that worked. I've heard about your TikTok probably 10 times before from different people in different chats in YouTube, even though I've never had a TikTok account. And I've heard people like talk about you as a huge deal. And it's so funny because I just pretend like I don't know you because I don't really know you, but I'm just like, yeah, she seems badass.
Well, I did.
Your career, right?
I really didn't start. All right, my first two TikTok videos, which you'd have to scroll all the way down to the bottom. JB Boone from WFLA got me. He was able to open the doors for me during the Gabby Petito case, and he got me a few minutes of time. He told me who to see and tell them that he sent me so I could interview Joe and Nicole's attorney and also interview the laundry's attorney. And I did that for when I was co-hosting for Louis Lecca of Nerd Report. So I did that, and then I was like, okay, a lot of people watched it, but they mostly watched it on Nerd Report because that's where where I was at the time. Then what really blew up my TikTok was the Take Care of Maya trial, because I was in the courtroom every day. Now, I was on TikTok under the handle of Blind Gossip, and I don't know are you aware of the Kowalskis versus J Hatch, the Take Care of Maya trial? Okay.
I have a little bit of basic knowledge. I'm
All
not
right.
intimately aware of that trial.
Well, I was in the courtroom every day for 8 weeks, and I was doing all of my recaps on TikTok, and that's how my TikTok got blown up, because I would be on Rob's Law and Lumber just in the chat, but giving the stuff there, and I was calling into RAs, recovery addicts, every day. So that's how my TikTok blew up. But if you're familiar with what happened, the way Notorious came about was after the trial was over, J Hatch filed motions with the judge citing jury misconduct with juror number one. They actually dragged me in there and pulled my TikToks and put my TikToks in their motion. And Ethan Shapiro, one of the defense lawyers for John Hopkins, referred to me as she's notorious. And yeah, and and they wanted my phone, and I was like, fine, I have nothing, because they accused me of being a third party culprit, saying that I was this secret person working for the Kowalskis, and I was getting information to juror number one. I mean, it was so.
Yeah, you're a middleman for jury tampering. That's so ridiculous.
It was so crazy, and thank God that Judge Carroll basically blew him off where I was concerned. And Judge Carroll was like, no. You want to interview with juror number one? Yeah, I'll let you have an interview with juror number one. I did not know juror number one. Yes, was his wife in court one day? Yeah, she was. She was sitting about 3 feet from me. You know what we talked about? And she didn't identify herself. Just for the record, I had no earthly idea until after the trial was over that was his wife. What we were talking about was how cold it is in there. And I said, oh, you're so smart, you bought that sweater. That was the extent of our conversation. And then, of course, the Reddit trolls made way more out of it than what it was. And like I said, I did not know until after the trial was over, and Reddit pointed out that was juror number one's wife. And she was there just for the one day, and that was when Kathy Beatty was testifying. Yeah. And yeah, I had a lot of problems. In the beginning, I had no problems with Ethan Shapiro. He was always very nice to me until one day during the trial, he was doing an interview outside on the lunch break, and one of the news channels asked him about offering a settlement, and he was like, we have never offered a settlement to this family, and we never will, blah, blah, blah. And I'm standing there listening to this, and I knew that it was a bold face lie. Like, he just lied to the news people by saying, we've never offered a settlement, nor will we ever. And we're following this all the way through. His words were something to the effect of, this affects, what did he say? Mandatory reporters, not just here in Florida, but across the country, blah, blah, blah. So I was so pissed, because I knew that it was a lie, because I read, when I tell you, thousands and thousands of documents on this case. There are two times J Hatch offered a settlement. And the most recent one was at the end of July of 2023, like 2 months before trial started. So I made a TikTok and I called him out and I posted the settlement offer that
You're like, I have receipts. Come
yeah,
on.
here we go. He lied. And obviously someone told him. And then from that point on, when he saw me, he became nasty. And then it was during once the jury came back in favor of the Kowalskis, in between waiting for no, I'm lying. It was during the break. It was during the break inside the courtroom. I was talking to Dr. Scott Richards, who was an expert witness for the Kowalski family. And Ethan Shapiro comes walking in and he tapped me right here on my right side because Dr. Richards was in front of me and the door to the courtroom was right here. He tapped me and he said something to the effect of, now that it's all over, what are you going to do? And I said, my response was, I'm going to go back to my normal life. And he turned around, like he whipped his head around and he goes, yeah. And he was nasty about it. He goes, yeah, like you should get a life. And I looked at him. He took me by such surprise because I just didn't expect it. It was like that came out of left field. So I shot back at him. The only thing that I could think of saying was, yeah, and are you going to still go on your cruise? And so he was nasty and he goes, yeah, I am. And I was like, good for you. And, Dr. Richard just looked at me and I was like, what was that about? He goes, I don't know, but so yeah. So he had it out for me, but did I expect that he was going to name me in post-trial motions? No. So I was really offended with the term notorious. I took it as I was insulted by it, and I took it as a derogatory comment. And so when a lot of people asked for me to come on their channels to discuss the trial after it was over, and everybody's like, and it's notorious Jules, because they all saw what he put in the damn post-trial motions. And I was getting, the more people were referring to me as notorious, the more I was getting upset. So it was Kurt from Uncivil Law that actually got me to embrace it. He's like, look, there's nothing wrong with that. He said, you got to them. That's why they did that, because you got to them. It's not an insult. It's not derogatory. It's you got to them, and that's why they did it. He said, embrace the name. And that's where notorious came from.
That is an awesome story. Also, I think most people would want the name Notorious in front of their name because Notorious B.I.G. was such a huge pop culture icon that they would love that. Notorious B.I.G. He's a rapper.
He's an actor?
So, a rapper.
Oh, a rapper. Oh, see, I don't know this stuff.
Oh, he was a rapper, a huge rapper in the 90s, and he was a pop culture icon. And so for somebody like I think a lot of people would also take that, if they didn't know that story before, would take it as you're maybe making a play off the name Notorious B.I.G., but you're like Notorious Jules. I don't know. I think most people would love to have that name associated with them. But I also think you should wear it as a badge of honor because, yeah, they may
Yes.
think that they could not have been gotten to, and absolutely you did. And so, you know, I'm not sure if Kurt and I from Uncivil Law would agree on a whole lot, but that is something that I think we would agree on, because if you're able to get to them, those are people that think nobody can. And it's I wear that as a badge of honor because I realized that being good, probably about like halfway through my life, was not going to do, it didn't do anything and it didn't get anywhere. But if you start ruffling feathers, but not necessarily stepping too far over the line, yeah, that's when you start getting answers and getting reaction. And people start
results.
showing you really who they are. Yeah, it's interesting, right? So they really showed you who they were.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. That was a crazy time. And that's how my TikTok blew up, was through there. And then, you know, I was going after the trial, you know, I was going through stuff, and then I was having health issues and blah blah blah. So I didn't do any. I let the TikTok go for like 6 months. I hadn't done anything, and even during Ashley Benefield, I didn't do any. I mean, I was doing calling in, you know, for Scott from RA and Melanie Little, and then here in the evenings doing recaps with Ada. Um, but I didn't do anything with my TikTok um, until yesterday. Was the first time in months and months. So I was like, okay, you know, I've got to, I've got to start getting back in. Like, I have to push myself to do it. But so that,
Not too much. You
no,
still
not
need to.
too much. I will be in the courtroom on the 16th of this month for Ashley Benefield, the motion hearing for jury misconduct. And then 2 days after that, I go for my scan. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that everything is going to be okay. Uh, um, so I can continue to do this, because I have secured a place to stay in Orlando for Sarah Boon. I know, and it was one of the Karen Reed standout people. It was like, I live 20 minutes from there, and I was like, I'll pay you. Can I? I'll sleep on your couch. Can I? You know. So she's like, let's. And she got in touch with me today, and she said, you can stay with us, and um, but I'm going to court with you every day. I was like, I have no problem with that, you know. So yeah, but I just have to keep my fingers crossed that physically, health wise, that I'm going to be able to do this.
We're believing it. We're believing
Yes.
that you will be there.
You
Speak
also
as
have a
it is,
court
and it
buddy.
shall be.
Maybe your court buddy can help you if you're not feeling great, but we hope and wish for the best for your scan.
I don't want to put that on anybody else. You know what I'm saying? It's my, you know.
Yeah, but I think anybody who's with a friend would go out of their way to want to help that friend. You know what I mean, Jules?
Yeah,
especially when you do a lot to try and bring attention to other people's issues. You know what I mean? to other prominent issues in the community when you're facing other problems. Like, we've all got problems, but you're facing a lot of like energy challenges right now, and you're still out there doing things. And like the free Karen Reed like stand-up thing that you were doing, that is insane, woman.
That
So I'm
was a
glad that your skin is better, and I'm glad that you are resting right now.
That was a huge mistake, though. I really shouldn't have done. I shouldn't have done that yesterday. I shouldn't have, or I should have just done it for like maybe an hour and packed it in. But thank you so much for the prayers. I appreciate you, C. Morales. Thank you, ADHD Jelly Bean. I appreciate you too. And Karen. Yeah, so that's about it. That's about it.
Sorry, guys. I was saying goodbye to my daughter. She is.
Thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome.
Oh, how is the weather, Ada, for traveling to and from?
She's leaving.
Still not
I
good.
love you. Be safe. She is. It's not the best, but she has to get back. So we've got a break. I'm just hoping she can get through before. I mean, it's just like we've had. This has been the wettest week we've had in ages. This is what we're dealing with.
Where is she going?
Okay. Yeah, that's
she's going off to school. It's a 2.5 hour drive, and it's 100% rain for her to drive through.
Wow.
But she has to get back today because she's got class at 2. So, but they're having, so we're just gonna. I have 360 on. It has all that stuff on it that tells me if she's hard brakes or and all that kind of good stuff. So,
but Ada,
Mama Bear will be watching.
But Ada, you've got the 360 Life app, right? And you know where I'm going with this. So you rely on the 360 app to let you know where your kids are at, and you find it quite accurate, don't you? Well,
extremely accurate to the point. Here's a story. I know where you're going with this. My daughter got in a car with a friend of hers when she was in high school. She was probably a sophomore, maybe freshman. I don't know. And the friend's grandmother had gotten a new car. So he picked her up in the car, and he was going 89 miles an hour down a 75 mile an hour highway. And the app alerted me, and I pulled it up and I saw it. So when he brought her home, I said, well, I texted her, you better slow your butt down. What do you mean? I said, he's going. And she went, what? She didn't realize it. So I gave him hell. And he goes, yeah, I did do that. I didn't mean to. It's just a different car and a different feel. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I got a little something itching. So, needless to say, it is pretty dang accurate. I never found it not to be accurate.
You might want to tell Adam Lolly that.
I know, right?
Yeah, you might want to send a message to Jennifer McCabe about that. Yeah, because according to the Commonwealth, the times are off.
No, it's not. And I remember when that happened. So do you know what I did?
No.
I got in my car and I drove to my kids, the neighboring school, and I kind of tried to trick it by taking random quick turns, and it was spot on. Spot on. So
well, that's like me, Ada. When Lolly said, when Trooper Paul was on, and Lolly said about the reversing 24 miles an hour to slam John, I went over to the middle school right down the road here, the parking lot. Of course, no one was in school at the time. And the parking lot was empty, and I did a reverse. I wanted to see, could this
Same
be done?
thing.
I couldn't get, I don't know, I must have hit 8 or 9, 10 miles an hour when literally I could not control my car. And that was not in any kind of inclement weather whatsoever. You know, obviously no snow and no ice, but not even rain. I couldn't do it. So it's bull crap. That was bull
I got
crap.
up to about 17, 18, but I've also had some training as in fire department with trucks and some kind of bad weather driving. So I've had a little training. By the way, Hazelnut, you do need it on both phones. It is free. You can also buy an extended member, but you don't need to. It's fabulous to keep track of people. My girlfriend and I, we have a family group. So yeah, I have it. So when I travel by myself, my children and my best friend can see where I'm at. If I have an emergency, they can tell people where I'm at. Also, the difference between the stairs. Yes, I tested this out. I went to our local parking garage. Okay. And I drove it. And then I went to the top and I walked down the stairs. And then I walked back up the stairs and drove back. And it was a distinction between driving. It shows that you're just doing this kind of thing, but then it also states the steps on my watch. Yeah. All of their defense was BS. It's called Life 360.
Well, I have an iPhone. Okay, where's my health app?
Mm-hmm. That's what I used.
My health app, which is what they were saying,
Yep.
is inaccurate. Well, as you could see here, I only did 13 steps today. I'm taking it easy. But here's the thing. Look, I'm going like this, shaking I could throw my phone over there on the couch, pick it back up, right? My 13 steps, right, this way. 13 steps hasn't changed. Going like this with the phone, no. If I get up and walk right now, even if I take 3 steps, it's going to say I took 3 steps, okay? And it shows you if you're going up and down too. It has like these, elevators. So my walking cemetery was only 4% yesterday. Yeah, it was bad.
See, that's what I did. I walked up the steps and I drove my car with that on. I wanted to see if it would take me going up. And then I went to one of our big hills in town and I drove because he said it was hilly. It wasn't, because Turtle Boy debunked that one. And it never registered anything as a step unless I was going up and down the steps. Period. End of discussion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're idiots. What can we say? They're trying to salvage and save their butts. But speaking of but, today with Sarah Boon, oh, she got a bee smacking from Hades from the judge through the denial of the extension. I was fabulous. I mean, it was fabulous. Let me look to make sure, babe. I know you're trying to get it, so let me look. Navigation. Nope, that's not what I need. Navigation. Yes, purple. And it looks like a little swirly key with swirly. Yep. And so, but the thing today, really, I was hoping, but I was on the fence if they would extend it even a week. I am so proud of that judge sticking to his guns. It is not the court's fault or responsibility to move the trial because she decided to change her plan of attack. She was pro se because of what she did. The court is not going to bite any more time, and I am so happy for that. It was a smackdown, but did you see how smirky she was when she sat down and she was all,
yeah. I'm going to be honest with you, Ada. That's where you and I differ. I was hoping, but it was for selfish reasons, not for pro Sarah Boone. I was hoping that he was going to give, an extension of like 2 weeks, because I thought to myself, this would be good for me because I'll know after September 18th where I stand and all of that. So, will this be doable for me? So, yeah, I was hoping for me, not for her, but for me, that he was going to delay it. But my gut, and also, just so you know, I did a deep dive on James Owens. He's an excellent, excellent attorney. Okay. His reviews
Out
are
of this world.
they're stellar. Now, there is only 2 bad reviews, and they had to do with plea deals. They were like, he got me a plea deal instead of taking it to trial. I don't think I should have taken the plea deal. And I said to myself, well, you had every opportunity. I'm thinking this to myself now. You had every opportunity to say to your lawyer, no, I don't want a plea deal. So,
Exactly. That's your choice to take it. He could
Yeah.
advise you, but you
Yeah.
make the decision.
But even the positive responses some of them were in regards to plea deals. And one of them said, had it not been for him securing the plea deal that I got, I would have been behind bars for a really long time. They don't go into what the actual case was and all this, but he's an excellent, excellent attorney. So she better not screw this one up, because she is not going to find a better criminal defense attorney in this state than what she's got right now. She just won't.
I agree 100%, because when I read his motion, I'm like, he made some good arguments. He's
He
on the
did.
ball, but the thing is that the judge is like, I am not going to sit here. You knew what you were taking on. You knew the deadline. You knew the job. Too bad. So sad. Not sorry. I think that Campfire for Life is saying he's representing her because he wants a fair trial. A KB dash, was it F? I think it was, is an attorney here in Texas. And she made a good point that there's a possibility a group of attorneys, he's doing it pro bono to her, but there's maybe a group of attorneys that are giving him some financial support. And the reason is because it really makes everything extremely more difficult. And it's better for the system if she has an attorney.
Well,
And for the judge and for the state and for all involved, including us, that she has an attorney.
Well, here's the thing. Listen, we all know, because we've seen the video. You can't get past that video. All right. But she's innocent until proven guilty. But the video is what's going to do her in, just like the video did Murdoch in. Okay. However, she deserves, this is, our constitutional right. She deserves a fair trial. So I'm glad he stepped up. Now, I don't know how it is in Texas. Jules, if you haven't been following since Gypsy Rose got out, you may want to dig into that. It's spicy since she got out. The only thing I know about Gypsy Rose is I know her and Kim Kardashian hooked up. I know she's having a baby. That's basically about
Some
it.
Some people are even unsure about that one.
About her being pregnant? Oh, okay.
But I think she is.
I think she is too. Nothing would surprise me about her. But I don't know how it is in Texas, but here in Florida, I believe they it's 10%. It's either 8% or 10%, but it's in there. All attorneys here in Florida are required to do, let's just say this, between 5 and 10% of pro bono work.
Exactly.
So this may be, you know, this may
But
be his
this
pro
is an
bono.
expensive pro bono.
Right. And it may, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, he may be taking the pro bono. There may be a group of attorneys that are willing, or some other attorney that's willing to help pay his office costs or out of pocket cost. Not as hourly, and that's fair enough. But I'm glad she's I mean, I really was in for the pro bono show. I mean, the pro se show.
Me
I was
too.
in for it. However, it gets to the point, the show gets to the point that you're like, I'm done with the show. I've had my fill. Let's move on. And I think in fairness to the jury and their time, because if she's pro se, it's going to drag on 10 times longer. You
Oh
know
my
that.
God. I know.
And
And
those
so now,
poor jurors are going to be without an income for the time that they're serving.
yeah, they don't get paid very much here in Florida.
Poor jurors, poor taxpayers. So they're doing the taxpayers and the jurors a favor when they're doing their civic duty. So, hey, Piper, stop. So just,
Yeah.
it is a huge deal that they are severely lessening the whole agony factor of the pro se defense. Piper, knock it off. Sorry, guys. The whole agony factor of the pro se defense of Sarah Boone. So I wonder if he gets an extra couple of percent for his pro bono work.
You know,
Because
I
they're like
thought that-
agony factor.
I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing, though. I wonder if this case will put him at the mark of where he needs for 2024, or or I don't
Like,
know. If it
yeah, if
carries
he
over.
doesn't quite meet the threshold, if the judge will be like, you have met your threshold, or this exceeds your threshold because of the exceptional circumstances of the case, the time in which you had to litigate it,
Yeah.
and the amount of hands of attorneys that it passed through before it came to you. Because really, the fidelity of the information can deteriorate as it passes through people. You can lose information, you can lose, like, you
The
can lose
autopsy
documents.
photos from the ME.
Exactly. So it just I think there might be a thing where if he doesn't quite meet his threshold for the year, because it is getting down to the end of the year, and this might be the other reason. And Jules, thank you for doing a deep dive into him, because for a moment I'm like, is this guy a shyster like Sarah? And that was the theory I had. So thank you for proving my theory wrong. Because
he's a big shot. He is literally, ow, Frankie. He just bit my thumb. No, he actually was the head of the public defender's office for the entire state of Florida at one point.
No way.
Yeah, no, this guy is
Okay.
big. This guy is no shyster. This guy is big.
He's about as big as you get until you get to the Supreme.
So that is okay, great. Well, thank you for correcting me. That is awesome. I really did need to know that.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe
it was an elected office. It wasn't that he was appointed, he was elected.
Perfect.
Yeah, so this is going to be a good showdown. It's going to be an awesome showdown. But the other thing is I don't think he necessarily took this to finish his quota. Most of the time they don't
to the
take
last 4 months of the year.
Well, but honestly, I don't think, how do I put this? Most attorneys that I've heard of and know in our area try to get those pro bonos done at the beginning of the year and they're smaller cases. They're not these big ones. It doesn't matter what size the case is, it's the number of cases. So with this case, I think truly he believes that she deserves a good defense, and he's doing it for that reason. And I believe that KBF was accurate in stating that there are other attorneys behind him, excuse me, supporting him financially on the out of pocket expenses, which makes it easier to do the pro bono. I don't think it was just that one deciding factor. And I
I
also think that
thought that
this
theory
also
was a
is,
good one.
he's got a great career. This is the icing on the cake. I think this is also to help boost him even more. He could be looking at Supreme Court
Maybe.
appointments. You know, there's a lot of factors I'm sure that went into this, but he
But he's
also has a lot to
also,
lose.
well, yeah, but also, well, does he though? Does he, Ada, really have a lot
If
to
she
lose?
fires him, if there's all of this drama, and if he can't get her to trial,
I think if she fires him, they're like, well, he was sane and she was not.
Yeah, because
Judge
virtually
made the comment
all
there was
her,
no bad
all
attorney that she represented her at any point in time.
all of her past attorneys, no one really knew who they were, or this one here
Is named.
He's high profile. He's a big guy. So if she fires him and or he quits, which I don't think he will.
No, I don't.
I don't think he will. Then people are going to know, yeah, she's just bat crap crazy.
Well, as far as his expenses, a lot of those expenses he can write off on taxes. And some of these expenses may also including his hotel and his driving. There are associations within the bar that provide money to assist in these kind of cases where they're taking pro bono and the expenses exceed it. They're like little lawyer association type things that could potentially step up and help.
And also, too, there's like a lot of paralegals out there that will volunteer their services so they can get credits and experience and all that. Because I know that there's, as a matter of fact, she's been in touch with me. There's a volunteer since the verdict, since Ashley Benefield was found guilty. There's a paralegal from the East Coast of Florida that is now volunteering her services to Mr. Taylor on doing work for him, and she's doing it strictly on a volunteer basis. And she got in touch with me and through Twitter and to let me know. And yeah, so we've been in touch, and so there are paralegals out. I don't think he's going to have any problem with finding help on a volunteer basis. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. My thing is, I wonder how Sarah Boone better get her face and her body language in check, because in the middle of the trial, and that judge sees that, he's going to stomp that down quick. Because her smirkiness and her facial reactions and everything she was doing today, that ain't going to fly in trial. And
No,
I felt bad for the investigator because he was looking at her like he was burning lasers through her.
She thought she one-upped the judge by having this attorney now represent her. I really do believe that's what was in her mind. I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think she thought that this attorney was going to get this postponed till next year. I mean, I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I really thought he was going to give him a couple of extra weeks to.
I think had he gone in there and said, Your Honor, I understand that you said no more. I'm just requesting a couple weeks. That's all. Just a few weeks. But he went in there asking 6 months to a year. And
Yeah.
that judge was all like, oh, hell no.
No.
Mm-mm.
You know, that was a little bit prideful to come into court knowing darn well there's been an order, no more. We've done it. We're done.
Well,
And you
and
go
not
up there and have that demand?
But
Uh-uh.
Jorge's family, the Torres family, deserve justice. This guy
Mhm.
left behind 4 children. You know, OnlyFan is here.
Mhm.
Hello, OnlyFan. Welcome to our channel. Good to have
OnlyFan
you.
follows me on Twitter. Anyway, what do you call it? That family deserves. I mean, I hate using the word closure because you no matter what, you don't get closure. But
They
they
need the
deserve some. Yeah.
judicial closure. The
Yes.
judicial closure is what they need. They'll
Yes.
never have closure of the event, but they need the judicial closure is greatly needed
Yes. Yeah.
because you can't get much further than they are without it.
No, you can't. And so this has gone on. Now, as you guys know, I usually don't go to opening statements. And when she was pro se, I was like, yeah, I'm going to opening statements. Now I'm like, should I or shouldn't I? So
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Why?
Well, number one, you can see far more than we can. You can see how the jury's reacting to the statements. You can see her body language. And there are times where the camera isn't in a place and something is happening that we don't get to see. And I want the juice, Jules.
All right. I'll go to opening statements.
Love ya.
You know me.
I will buy your lunch and coffee for the day.
I'll go to opening statements.
If you're well. I
Yeah.
do not want you pushing otherwise,
No.
Missy.
No.
Because do you know what? I'm a crazy ass witch who will drive myself down there and whoop your butt. It'll take me 2 days to get there, but I'll get there.
Nothing would surprise me. I'm sure you would.
If I had the money, I'd be down there. Look what we were gifted. Are you ready for this?
What is it?
RA has this.
I don't know.
Is
What is
the
it?
motherboard. So I can each one of these right here is a camera angle or a feed of some kind. So I can just switch. It's basically a big switching thing. $1,200 to $1,500 switchy thing.
How much?
$1,200 to $1,500 switchy thing.
My Lord.
It's going to make my streaming a whole lot easier because like when I have to say goodbye or hello, I have to sit here, turn off the music, then I have to change the then I have to take whatever this, you know, it doesn't all happen at once. With this, it's just done. One button. Yes, I can count the buttons if you'd like. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. But my point is,
she's so flipping crazy.
we're moving on up in our
guess
technology.
so.
It had
I
me in
guess
tears the other weekend. You missed it. I cried on a live, and then I deleted it.
What happened?
Well, I connected everything up, and I had no sound to me. I had sound to everybody else, but I had no sound to me. And RA was at a pool party, and he tried to help me, but couldn't figure it out. So I called the person that gave it to me, and he tried to help me until his wife said, "It's time to go. We got a commitment." And the camera was no longer working, and I had zero sound anywhere. That's how he left me. And I had a live an hour and a half later. So I had to unplug everything, put it all back together the way I have it now. Still didn't have a camera and a mic. So I go on live so people could tell me if they could hear me or not. Finally got the camera within minutes of the members only live, I had sound and I just lost it.
Oh my, see, and everybody says, Jules, you need your own YouTube. You need your own YouTube.
You
No,
do.
no, no. It's costly. It's complicated. You have to know what the heck you're doing. No,
No, you don't.
Yeah, you
I
do.
learned.
Yeah, well,
Oh, and
no.
what's funny, so the first member only live, we had to call the police. Yeah, on a live.
Wait, was it, I was there. Was that when the guy walked in? I was there for that.
And then the second members only live, I was crying over this switchboard.
That one I did not see.
And then this last one, we played a game, being boo-boozled. It's like where the white jelly beans will either be a coconut flavor or soured milk. And thanks to some of my peoples, I had to take a few hits. The next day I woke up in sugar coma. It was so funny. So, I gotta hear about the cop call. We were on the live and Jules was here, and my son has a business where I have an office, and it was 9:30 at night. And the guy, we have to keep the front door open because of the fire code laws. While occupied, the door must be unlocked. A guy walks in, comes back, goes into the product room, and all the lights are off. And I'm in my room with the door shut. My son's in his office next to me. And the guy walks through the place and he didn't expect to stumble upon us. And he kind of tried to act like a customer. And then he ended up leaving. And yeah, we had to call the cops because basically it wasn't breaking and entering because the door was unlocked, but he came back behind the employee only door and into our storeroom. So it was crazy. And Jules was like, call the police. Call the police.
Well, that was a very dangerous situation. Very dangerous.
That's so, yeah. And he's lucky he didn't open my door because I have a lead shooter. It would have been pointed in that direction. I wouldn't have gone off, but he would have been met with the butt end of a lead shooter. Oh, your puppers is the sweetest thing. Hey, baby. Who's your baby?
That's Ada.
Hey, Frankie.
Ada?
Hey, hi. Who's a pretty boy? Who's a pretty boy? Meow. 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 Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Uh-oh, here she comes. My kitty's coming.
He's so bad. Can you see how he is just so bad?
He's a typical terrier. Jack Russell to boot.
Yeah,
the most
well,
hyperous and most demanding dog out there.
They lied to me. They told me he was Chihuahua and Dachshund, and he's not. He can't be.
He's not. I've had Jack Russells. That's a Jack Russell mix.
Yeah.
He's a terrier like my crazy one. You have to run after them and do crazy stuff to just keep them occupied.
He does not stop. He during waking hours, he just does not stop. He's
Jack Russells have like,
it's called Benadryl, baby.
They're a unique breed. My best friend had a Jack Russell Terrier growing up, and he was like an Energizer bunny. He was like a very muscly dog.
He is a handful only fan. He absolutely is. Had they disclosed to me that he had Jack Russell in, I would have turned around and like, yeah, no. I mean, he was 2 months old when I got him. And when he was little like that, he kind of did look like, okay, he's he's Dotson and Chihuahua. This will work for me, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But as he grew and developed, I'm like, no, 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 no. And then everybody that saw him was like, are you sure he's not a Jack Russell? And I'm like, no. And I'd be like, no, no, no. And then people started sending me pictures of Jack
Wishful
Russell that looked
thinking.
just like him. And I was like, I'll be damned.
You know why they lied? Because it's very hard to find Jack Russell homes unless you were just so into the breed.
Gee,
Very
I
hard.
wonder why.
Although that dog really loves you, and so in terms of being like a great therapy dog, that's always like, how you doing? How you feeling? He does check in on you a lot, but he's probably like, throw my ball, throw my toy.
Yeah.
If you're feeling okay, just huck it across the room.
Yeah. I mean, he's smart. Like he's
Oh, yeah.
completely potty trained. I don't have to worry about that. He loves to play. The thing of it is he does not know stop. No. He refuses. He does not listen. And he is untrainable in any other area.
Welcome to the Russell family, my friend. If so, just saying. So I did not catch. Just question. I did not catch the date. They changed the date. I think was it to September 10th for the opportunity to object to evidence. Was that September 10th?
Let me look and see. Let me
I could have
see.
sworn.
Orange County Clerk. I'm not going to any of those hearings because it's not worth my time nor
No.
money.
You can just watch it here.
Yeah.
Hazelnut Pretzel says if he doesn't listen, yeah, that's part doxy. Which I did find funny.
He does
Jack
not
Russell,
listen.
with a good trainer, Jack Russells can do fabulous things. They're great for TV because you can train them to do good tricks and things like that. But but you do need a very good trainer, and then you need to yourself be trained to be consistent and follow through.
Yes. Do you guys remember the show Wishbone that used to be on TV where Wishbone would be like classic stories like Shakespeare or like Huckleberry Finn. Just it would get kids introduced to classic literature, but with a dog as like one of the lead characters, and he was a Jack Russell. Ada knows what I'm talking about, but it was on it was on in the 90s, and his name was Wishbone. And so if that ever interests you, I'm sure you can torrent it, ladies and gents. Sorry.
Okay, let's see. Defense motion to continue. All right, that's today. All right, the next here. All right, the hearing on the 24th for trial management conference was canceled.
Right.
So the next hearing will be September 26th. And October 7th, so far, that's where
I could have said I wrote down something on September 10th, so they may not have put it in yet.
Yeah. Oh well, maybe because it's got trial management conference listed on the 26th.
What? What?
What?
What? Where did you see
has
this?
An interesting comment, so we're gonna have to do some fact checking into that. But I'm sure Ronnie has done some fact checking into that, because I don't think Ronnie would.
He said
We
in
put
the
it
judge
there.
said
He
in
must-
court it was pro bono.
He must have done an interview. Ronnie, did he do an interview?
They said in
Court
court it was
TV.
pro bono. Okay, let me do this. Y'all talk.
Court
I can't
TV.
hold it any longer. I'll be back and we'll find it. But keep
Okay.
talking.
Okay.
I'll be back and we'll find it.
And I'm going to Google right now.
Yeah. And everyone, we are trying to get that information about the court team for Sarah Boon and what is going on with some of that information. And Ronnie, our research manager, is
Okay, breaking news. Breaking news. Here it is.
do you have the link?
I'm
Can you drop the link in?
I'm trying to assemble a team right now. Owens also noted he was not working pro bono on the case, telling the cameras, Sarah owes me. He did do an interview. Let me see here.
Interesting. So Sarah owes him for her defense, and they are still asking for expenses for experts as an
So I'm
indigent.
trying to find the video.
Interesting.
I'm pulling it now for you.
If you could drop the link in comments, I can pick it up.
That's what I'm attempting to do here, but every time I freaking do it.
Thank you, Ronnie. Give me 1 second.
Ronnie, I'm also in Discord.
See if that works for you.
I have it up. Would you like me to share?
What are you wanting? I don't see it, love.
It is a Sarah Boon interview that was just sent by Ronnie via Discord.
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Yeah, do it that way.
Where did you put it in Discord?
She put it in mod management. If you want, we do have it right here.
Well, I was going to pull it up on my end so I can run it through my hearing aids, love.
Okay.
Because if you put it on your end, I can't control my hearing aids on it. I'm not trying to be.
It's in mod management.
Got it. I'm going to pull it up. Yeah.
I've got it. It's an 11-minute thing.
This is a 30-minute. Is this the whole thing?
I put it in the.
That's the whole thing, guys.
This is the thing here. The link I put in the private StreamYard chat, not the first link.
Got
the
it.
second link is it. The first link. I don't know how to delete that.
Yeah,
first
that
link.
was. Yeah, we got
The
it.
second
We
link
got
where
it.
says
Let me get it.
MSN. Okay.
Let me share it. Yeah, because see, what happens with my hearing aids is if y'all run it through, I can't control the volume to be able to hear myself. So that's not being snobby. I just can't control it, and it's frustrating.
While you're doing that, while you're pulling it up, I'm going to use my restroom. My coffee hit me.
Okay, I'll pause it till you get back. Go for it. We'll see you in a second.
Just a gap.
Okay, sorry about that. That's one thing I have to educate people on. If it's a video that has sound, if it goes through Sneak, if it goes through you, I can't boost the sound on my end for me to hear it.
Yep. I did hear.
If I can't get it, then definitely We'll use yours, but we got it. Oh no, he's mm-mm, mm-mm. He's a seasoned attorney. Got it, Miss Ronnie. Thank you. But
He's got at least 35 years of experience. And
I think he went to the bar in 1989 or something like that. That's about the year I graduated.
Yep, that was, sorry, what did you say? 1989?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's 34 years.
Don't say it. Don't say it. I don't want to hear it. Tells how
Isn't
old I
that the year that
You made
Taylor
me
Swift
feel so
was
old.
born?
35 years graduated. Oh my gosh. Yes, it's been that long. I will tell you, I want to create a meme with her smiling behind that wall. She is so happy to have this guy.
You know what? I'm wondering if he sat her down when they first met and was like, "This is who I am. I am a big deal. If you do not behave, I will walk out the door. And you will not have any other recourse for not spending the rest of your life in prison."
She is lucky they are
And
not seeking the DP.
oh yeah, like he's like, I'm the only chance that you have of hugging your son again.
Yes,
In,
Ronnie,
like,
I got the picture.
Of a prison. And so that's if once
Thank
you
you,
make
Ronnie.
that kind of apparent to somebody, that should be enough to scare somebody straight, you would think.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the only thing that's standing in the way of you hugging your son outside of a prison or being involved in his wedding or any sort of graduation from university or any sort of future moments that he may have. Like,
I don't think if she gets sentenced, it will be life or
Life.
maximum, whatever the maximum is for her. But I
I
you
think
know,
he might
am
say
I
that just
creeping
to
you
get
out?
her to behave.
Yeah, right. Every time I go, shh, you cringe.
Oh, I do. I'm sorry. Like Tellus or Teus, my face has subtitles, and so I would be bad. I would be bad if I did bad things. Like, I would not be good on the stand, but I know I cringe, and I just have a hard time with it because she is a unique level of insanely
Different.
Yeah.
It's like skin crawling.
Microorganisms. Well, see, it is true. She does shush him. She goes, shh. And that is, ooh, creepy. Okay, here we go, y'all.
Thank you. Excuse me? Why this case? Sarah Boon needed a lawyer. I mean, I can't imagine our system. The case is an aberration. Okay, this is just a gap in the system that never happens. You know, at the federal level, on the state level, everybody charged with a crime is entitled to counsel. Okay, everybody, never unless the client, unless the defendant waives their right and wants to represent themselves, which is rare and foolish. But I understand the judge's ruling. We respect the judge's ruling. But that left Sarah in a position where she's standing in a courtroom accused of murder without a lawyer. I can't think of any other time that you would need one than in that scenario. So once that decision was made by the court, Sarah put an ad out. Somehow it got on court TV. I watch a lot of YouTube, true crime. I saw it. I didn't immediately act on it. I waited 3 or 4 weeks thinking that one of the members of the defense bar here in Orlando would pick up the torch. 3 or 4 weeks went by. It did not happen. I had another case down here in Hillsborough County in Tampa that I had to come down for. So I wrote her a letter about a week before that. And she had a third party, a girl from Minnesota, that reached out to me, I think first just to see if I was legitimate. They said to see if I think catfishing is what they thought I was doing, somehow, some fraud. I think once the third party realized that I was genuine, then Sarah called me. And we talked on the phone a couple of times, and I said, hey, I'm coming down that Wednesday for that court case in Tampa. Why don't I just come down Monday, which I did. I got done with court, I think, Monday at noon. I drove down 6 hours, spent the night, got up the next morning. I think that was on the 20th.
Where's Jules?
And I spent about 4 hours with Sarah Boone at the Orange County Jail. During that period of time, I was in talks with the prosecutor, let him know what I was doing. He wanted me to file a notice of appearance. I wasn't ready to make that commitment yet. Didn't do that, but I got Sarah to sign a document essentially saying, you know, you can speak to the prosecutor on my behalf. There was attempts to try to resolve it. If we would have come to terms, I would have filed the notice of appearance. We would have set it for court, set it for hearing, and the case would have been resolved. So we did make attempts like everybody does in every case. Any prosecutor, any criminal defense lawyer, public defender, you have plea negotiations. That's just part of it.
It's as high as it is. Let me see what I can do. I didn't do that. That's on their end. It is gained as high as I can get it. Let me refresh. Let me get it back.
Negotiate for you, and she's trying to negotiate with the prosecutor, trying to send her to prison for the rest of her life. So
That's as best it's going to get. I'm sorry.
Somebody had to do it. I was doing it. But after those, so I met with her that day. I went over to Tampa, handled my case. I think I was done at 2:30. I came back. Well, Billy Lane, the investigator that's assisting Sarah Boone, pro se, he had scheduled an appointment to meet with Sarah that night. So I went back over to the jail. They let me meet with them. So the three of us met. This was, I think, the 21st. Like it's set from 7 to 8:30. We met for about an hour and a half. And you know, at that point, we couldn't reach an agreement. And then I wasn't ready to represent her at that point. I immediately told the prosecutor that there was an impasse, there was no agreement, that I was not going to be representing her. I got in the car and drove back home, got home about 4. I had court the next morning at 8:30. I was done with the case. I did the best I could. I want to say 2 nights later, my wife and I were home and Sarah called and we talked again. Of course, I was still thinking about it, what to do. And, but I told Sarah I was not committed to doing it. That was on like the 23rd. Well, then that third party called a day or 2 later, and really nice lady that I really respect. We developed a relationship, and she asked me if I would go one more time. So I flew back down. We met again a couple of times. I can't remember the dates now, 25th and the 26th. But both meetings went well. And you got to understand, Sarah's been through 8 lawyers, so there's some trust issues. And on both sides, you know, I'm concerned, is she going to try to fire me, or we're going to have problems the same way, as you can imagine. But, you know, I like her. She likes me. We communicate well. I think we're both on the same page. And, you know, I spoke to my family, my wife, my daughter Sarah about it. Sarah's thinking about law school, so I got their blessing. I have, you know, some colleagues that I practice law with, a law group there in Milton. And obviously it's going to take some staff to pull something like this off, especially knowing that the judge, I was in hopes he was going to continue it and give me 2 or 3 months. He did not. So we've got about 30 days. So I'm going to have some help from the staff, but we're trying to assemble a team right now. I've got a couple of friends that are lawyers that have indicated they're going to help me. And what are friends for?
Are you doing it pro bono?
I've been retained. I'm not doing it pro bono.
Who's paying for it?
Sarah owes me. Sarah owes me.
Can you speak a little more to your plan for defense about the battered spouse syndrome?
Well, I'm not an expert, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do that because we're time crunched now. As you know, I think y'all understand the rule now. We've only got till the 9th, which was today, the 3rd. We've got 6 days. So I'm going to try to pay for Dr. Julie Harper to fly down here later this week. She's actually from my area. The 2 experts that I had asked for, well, there's a 3rd one, but 2 of them are from my area. Dr. Harper's from Okaloosa County and Dr. Berkman's from Escambia County, but I've been in communication with Dr. Harper. I think I'm going to get her to fly down here later this week to meet with Sarah several times. Hopefully, at the end of those meetings, like I said, she's already met with her, but it was 2 years ago. She met with her 5 or 6 times. Hopefully, she's going to agree with me that she does suffer from battered spouse syndrome. And so then if she's able to give me that opinion by the end of this week, my intent is to file the notice with the court and the clerk of our intent to rely on that defense. And then we go from there. That's really all I can say. It's up to Dr. Harper, not me.
So you've got 6 days to do that. Now, barring a Matlock miracle and that doesn't occur, what is your other, plan of action?
Well, Sarah's been sitting in jail for a while. She's looking for her day in court, and we all want justice to be served. I'm a criminal defense lawyer. I've been doing it a long time. The state has the burden of proof. They have to prove their case. I know there's some strong evidence in the case, but there are some explanations. I'd rather not get into my other potential defenses, but we do have some defenses. They've got to convince the jury beyond a reasonable doubt. That's all I really want to say. Just like any other lawyer facing a trial on a criminal case, the state has the burden. We're going to test the state's evidence, and then we've got potentially a case to put on. But we'll see. We'll see what happens at the end of this week. It'll be
Good one, Ronnie.
interesting to see if we can utilize, because I do believe she meets the criteria just from everything that I have viewed in terms of Mr. Torres's prior arrest. I did want to say something else, but I want to say something, but I'll wait for you. If you
We
got
gotta move downstairs.
Okay.
Or, we can just wrap it up.
We could just wrap it up.
I did want to say this. The Torres brothers are violent towards women. I'll say that again. The Torres brothers, George and Farrell Torres, are violent towards their women. Farrell Torres is George's brother. Are y'all aware of this? He was arrested in May in Seminole County for killing his girlfriend, the mother of his children. He stabbed her to death. I've got the file right here. He called 911. Eventually, the 911 operator got around to, where is the weapon? Where is the knife? It was still in her head. I don't know. Sarah's told me about the family, the dysfunction. I seriously doubt that's going to be admissible in my trial.
You're right. It won't be.
There's two sides to every story. And Sarah's got a story to tell. I think she's been mistreated.
You guys are being hilarious today.
Difficult to represent yourself. I wish you could just imagine if you had a daughter that was in her situation where she's representing herself, or maybe a sister. Just for 10 minutes, just think about her situation. She's backed into a corner, and she's the type, like most of us are, they're going to come out swinging. That's what she's been doing. Some of it is probably appropriate. Some of it has been inappropriate, but it's all she knew to do was to fight. And she's been fighting. She doesn't have to fight anymore. I'm going to do the fighting for her. So she feels good about it. I feel good about it. We want justice to be served. We feel like if we get a fair jury, that we got a good chance. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nap. All right, Jules, you understand the cheese comment? She has been hoarding slices of cheese, and when they do their pop-up inspections of the bunks, she had 30 slices of cheese. Another time she had 36 slices of cheese. There was a time she was caught with 5 pair of gloves and 40 pair of gloves that the fingers they were cut off. She yeah. So she's gonna pay him in cheese.
Okay. Well, I don't know if he's gonna accept cheese as a payment. I would, because I'm a cheese freak. So
I
bring it
know, right?
on.
Not that government cheese. You don't want that cheese.
Oh no, I'm telling you, I must be the only person on earth, but I love government cheese. If I could get my hands on government cheese right now, I'd be in heaven. Government cheese for me is good. I like it.
It's not bad. It's just the word government and cheese together. But her cheese, but yeah, her cheese is yeah. So I believe that the woman that contacted him paid the retainer.
Maybe, I don't know, but what I do know is what I think. I mean, this is a guess on my part.
Right.
I think behind the scenes, someone may be working out a deal for her for a Peacock or a Netflix documentary, and the money,
Book.
yeah, is going to
But
go
I
to
thought
him.
they couldn't profit from their crime.
Not if it's going to go to him. She wouldn't be profiting, right? She's not going to get the money. He will. I'm guessing. I don't know. How
Yep.
else is he going to get paid? I cannot imagine that someone in her family has that kind of money to be able to pay him. And I can't believe a stranger would step up and pay. Listen, everybody's entitled to a defense. She's innocent until proven guilty. However, the suitcase video is beyond anything.
Damning.
It is, and you cannot defend. There's no way you can defend her against that thing. And to go with battered spouse syndrome, I'm sorry. Yes, did he have domestic DV charges against him? Yes, he did.
But so did she.
So did she. That's my point. So you can't really.
She had more charges on him than he did.
So I don't think a jury is going to buy battered spouse syndrome. I just don't think so. And if they're going down that, listen, he was better off, in my opinion, going with, she was so freaking drunk out of her mind.
Involuntary, yeah. Drunk.
Yeah. And
to get off. By the way, Hazelnut Pretzel and those who were watching, if you did not see the live, what was it, 2 days ago? It was Sunday, I believe. We went through the documents that we received from our little truth fairy that were from her moment of arrest all the way through August of this year, because we've seen August through current, of what's called behavioral notes that the prison guards fill out on the prisoners and the jail guards on the jailees. And there is a lot of interesting information about her hoarding, what she was keeping, and her behavior patterns.
Yeah.
And now I understand some of her shenanigans in court.
Refusing to take showers. Yeah, I've read all the documents.
Makes for fascinating reading or listening.
Did you read the 75 pages?
Let me look. I have them all checked off on which
But
ones
ladies
I
and
got
men,
to.
We just downloaded this. I'll send it to you if you don't have all 75 pages.
if you don't want to read the whole 75 pages,
Just
then
watch the
just
live.
go back to the stream and put us on 1.25 or 1.5 and then just let it play. If you want to slow it down for any parts that you think are positively delightful for Sarah Boon content, then make sure to do that, because she is an enigma.
Battered spouse. So SB is batter up, and then didn't the bat end up in the suitcase also? Wow. Good one.
So it's oh yeah, it's she's acclimated to prison life quite well.
Sure she has. Yeah.
She's
And
a smart woman.
I explained to people why the fingertips were being cut off the glove, why she had paper clips, maybe the cheese along with other paper materials and yada, yada, yada. So y'all can go and watch that and you can understand then why and how come she was volunteering her time cleaning when in reality she was using that time for ill gain.
And Ada gave us a lot of little pieces of information that we don't often get, that are the little bits of information that you get as a family member of somebody who is incarcerated, of, you know, just kind of daily life and how that life operates. And
you gotta see the cheese.
See the cheese. And so just some things that you may be confused on, or if you don't quite know how they fit together, Ada can sometimes put that together if it doesn't quite make sense, because some things you may be like, well, that doesn't make sense, but it starts piecing together her behavior in court, lots of things all together in one nice basket where she is almost starting to make sense now. Almost, dare I say it.
Here's the thing, though. Yes, she acclimated herself to her current housing. Okay, but here's the thing: it's county lockup, and county lockup is a breeze. And once she goes to, and I do believe she is headed to prison. There's no doubt in my mind. Her life is going to be so much worse, and she will not be able to do and pull the stunts in prison that she was able to pull in Orange County lockup.
Well, see, that may be the way it is in Florida. Now, in Texas, county or lockup is worse than prison in a lot of ways.
Oh, not here.
Her bunk mate number 40, she's got two bunkmates whoever's in bunk number 40, she usually has a beef with. That's the beef bunk. But there's some women in there who are in there for extremely heinous crimes. And
No
she
joke.
is somehow put herself in the position to utilize them and manipulate them, which was a shocker. And on top of that, she's almost like the pod boss.
This is why
what she gets away with is unbelievable.
Yeah, and this is the point I'm trying to make. She's enjoying life in county because she's got more freedom than she's ever going to get once she goes to prison. She's not going to be able to pull this stuff when she gets to prison. And if she thinks when she goes to prison that she's going to be, quote unquote, a celebrity in there, and people are going to be like, you know, bowing down to, she's in for a rude awakening. There's something else that I would like to say, but I'm not, because I don't want people to take my statement out of context. But what I will say is that in the penitentiary, whichever one she ends up at in Florida, people of George Torres's ethnic background
Oh, they're going to have a field day
will
with her.
not look kindly at her.
Well, I was going to put it this way.
I was
She is
trying
going to
to
be a
be,
celebrity.
but I was trying to be politically correct.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. She is going to be a celebrity of a different making and not of the good kind.
She has some views about people that she likes to state and ends up on her behavioral records.
Hair
So
braiders.
Yeah, she talks about the girls who braid hair in the dorm and how she doesn't like them. And we're like, your hair is awful. Maybe if you were nicer to them, you'd have better hair.
Don't drop the soap. That's more in a male prison. But
it is so funny to see what she does, because it's gonna be unreal to see how many people in a state pen in Miami are going to take kindly to that kind of behavior. And
they
there's
won't.
going to be a lot of organized crime that I don't think are going to like that, but will be ready to make her, perform activities for them.
And if you noticed, her prison garb was not nipped and tucked and bulges rolling today. Guys, we're dropping a bunch of things. Please go back and watch that live. There's just so much there. We can't share it now. I do have to get going, and I have to be somewhere in about 15, 20 minutes. I need to go get my temporary contacts and see if I can tolerate them. I also got to deal with some glasses stuff. If you guys notice, the last couple of days I've been struggling. So I can't wait to get my lenses in, and as soon as they come in, but I'm going to try to see if I can tolerate contacts. I'm sure it happens in women's too. Well, what I mean by drop the soap, that's not what they use. I can't say it on here. I'll be in trouble. Ada K, what's the title of it? Let me pull it. Let me get to my thing, my channel.
Exclusive
it is
Sarah Boon documents.
Exclusive records. No, exclusive documents. Sarah Boone jail behavior exposed in exclusive. I am wearing sunglasses. The reason is because I had a migraine. Okay. So that's how you know it's a right one. I got sunglasses on just a couple of days ago. Y'all help me thank Miss Jules for hopping on. I know you're
Jules.
tired. You're probably ready to go crash.
I am.
Yeah. And you're awesome. And thank you so much for joining us. And we love you and know that we're still praying for you. You need anything, you let us know.
How about $1 million? Can you get that?
Girl, if I had $1 million, you'd be getting some of it.
I'm just playing. All right, go get your glass. I'm gonna lay down and rest, probably play on the internet for a while. Thank you for having me. Love you guys. Miss you.
We love you.
And,
so nice to see you and to chat with you, chat law with you and Karen Reed and everything. So thanks for doing that.
You're awesome. Blessing kisses.
Sorry for my appearance in my nightie and all of that, but it is what it is. Love you guys.
Bye. Sorry for her seductive appearance. She looks very seductive.
She actually looks good.
Yeah, she does look great. So, yes. Bye to Jules. I will take off now. Bye, Ada. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Y'all are awesome. All right. Bye, love. Thank you for all your help and comments. Everybody, I really appreciate everything that y'all have commented on. We really appreciate your loving. Porting over to Broken Baker. Yes, y'all, please do that. I don't know how to do that. Y'all do a Baker raid if you want to. I don't know how to do a Baker raid. What is this that you posted, Ronnie? What is that? Oh, that is the okay, y'all. That's the link to the live Ronnie posted. Um, but everybody, y'all are amazing. You have a great afternoon. Yeah, my Sarah Boon stream. I'm not sure when we're going to be on next. I got to look at all the dates of everything. But in the meantime, y'all be kind to one another. Remember, smile at somebody who's not smiling back. They're having a worse day than you are. So love on them. And we will see you shortly. Thanks for joining. Bye bye.